All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of Session 1, Curse of Strahd. When last we left off, the group of adventurers was not quite a group yet. More than anything, only a few of you had really banded together, conscripts of a sort from the various do-gooder organizations of Waterdavian society. Members of the Order of the Gauntlet and the Harpers were brought together, namely Mirio, Sadrin, Victor, and... Oh no! Zach, what's your character's name?
Sudriel.
It's not on Tailspire, and that oh my gosh, I totally biffed it.
Yeah, Sudriel.
That's so funny.
Shows you how much our DM cares.
Gosh,
I just made your midi unit. Alright. Sadrin, Sudriel, Mirio, and Victor gathered at the southern gate of Waterdeep, escorting the mechanical marvel that was meant to bring them to their quest, and to succeed at their quest. The mechanical marvel, of course, being a Nimblewright, a construct, fleet with a blade, and even more fleet on its feet. The quest, of course, is simple. Reports have been coming in from Daggerford of werewolves roiling around in the misty forest and prowling the countryside, looking for victims to drag into the arbored green. Your task, or rather the group's task that was sent from Waterdeep, is to go investigate these claims and to hopefully rout out the source, or to at least scout out the source. You were not given an expansive dossier on the situation, merely told to go to Daggerford and to meet a harper there. An individual by the name of Zelraun Roaringhorn, who was meant to meet you at the Lady Luck Tavern. And so, making arrangements, meeting awkwardly, businesslike at the South Gate, you traveled from the South Gate, down the south, I think the high road, to Daggerford proper. And as you crested the hills following the deltas, the stout walls, the impregnable walls of Daggerford popped up on the sky, the horizon line. You arrived in town, did a little bit of exploring, but very quickly came to your destination, the Lady Luck Tavern, where you began to make yourself familiar with the area. The tavern itself is host to many different types, adventurers, retired or otherwise, salt of the earth people who had been working the fields through the day, and then another group of people. As Mirio began to descend the stairs from his achievement of climbing the challenge pillar in the middle of the room, the two of you, one a new acquaintance and the other one of the four sent to Daggerford, were confronted rather nastily by a group of ne'er-do-wells in the tavern proper. And that is where we began. If you listened to the audio from the last handout, that is about where we began. Sudriel had just come up to an individual who we came to know the name of Brittany, and had started making conversation when suddenly one of Brittany's two instruments were stolen from her and taken by these two across the main taproom floor. get the cutscene going. Pardon me. All right. Yes. So you are greeted with this sight: a colorfully dressed man, deftly flying across the floor, sort of dancing as he goes and parading the stolen loot around him. He laughs. It's a sort of rough thing, but definitely full of a malicious mirth. He fixes you with a mischievous grin. How do you react? Particularly Brittany, seeing as this is your instrument.
Muted.
Muted.
Excuse me, sir. I think what you have is mine.
Oh, is it?
Rude.
He-
Yeah. Are you blind?
Well, I'm not blind. I just didn't see that it was yours in particular. He strums a chord and takes a subtle step back.
Well, you're being kind of rude. So if you could just, hand it back to me, because it's mine, that'd be great.
Oh, I might in a moment. Do you mind, though, if I give it a go? He
Yes, I do mind.
He feigns a sort of puppy dog look. Says, a pity. Sudriel, you can see that there's another figure sort of rising from the table next to this man. A lady dressed in a similar garb, colorful and patchwork, as if assembled from the garments of a million discarded robes. She stands and walks quickly next to him, as if indicating that they are one and the same. But I think Brittany's attention would be probably leveled in an authoritative glare at the gentleman, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I
I'm
would
okay.
sort of kind of step up, not quite interposing between the two of them, but definitely making my presence a little bit more firm. I do believe that is hers, and she has every right to request it back. And I must say, unless you want to get the authorities involved, I'd suggest handing it back over.
He makes a sort of grandiose thinking gesture and says, planting his fist on his hip and sort of stroking his chin with the lute in the other hand, says, that sounds like a reasonable proposal, but I don't know. She's already got one of these instruments. And he sort of waggles a hand in the direction of the harp which he carries.
And, well, if you're willing to just take things from people, I'm assuming that you don't want to be handed every single handout, and I'll kind of lay my hand on my crossbow hilt, just kind of as a little bit of intimidation, just kind of glaring to the point that, like, if things keep going, I probably will get a little bit more forceful.
Yes. I would like you to roll intimidation, and I think with Brittany's ire, we'll make it an advantaged roll. Otherwise, you can both roll intimidation.
Okay.
Do you want me to give you advantage or just also intimidate?
I'll just go with advantage because I got pretty good. That's gonna be an 18.
An 18. You plant your hand firmly on the grip of your hand crossbow. It is a hand crossbow, yes?
It's like a light crossbow, but
A light
it's
crossbow.
within sort of like the sort of noticeable reaching distance that I can just kind of pull it quickly from my back.
Yes. Is it loaded?
Mhm.
Okay. You see the man takes a quick glance at your movement and assesses what exactly you're up to fairly quickly. He holds a sort of acted candor about him. And, I haven't been sending you the shots, have I? Lol. Something about it is fake. But in any case, he says, well, I don't know if it would do to start a fight. He holds a hand up, and in the other hand he holds up the loot, kind of like this. He says, all right. It was just a little bit of fun. And he's going to walk quickly, or not, carefully, over to you. And he's going to offer, with a quick flip of the instrument, the bowl end of the lute to you, Brittany.
So he's holding the...
Yes, he's holding the
The
grid.
neck of it. Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna
The neck.
grab the neck under his hand and then smack his hand off of it and yank it back to me. Well, your idea of fun sucks. So don't touch my stuff.
He grins and says, feisty. I like it.
No, you're a moron. Go away. And then I'm gonna turn back to we need to put all of our names on the side. I need to change that. I don't
that's
know
going to be the bane of this campaign, is people remembering my name.
Yeah.
It's on if you have,
Is it Jerry? Is it like Reginald?
His name should be on the side.
It's
is
on
it not?
it's on
Change your
Tailspire.
name.
No,
Discord.
like she meant in like Discord, but I'll change it in a second.
Yeah, because I was looking at Discord. So I was like,
Sudriel.
I got you.
Sudriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just literally turn my back to him and look at Sudriel like, where were we in our conversation?
And kind of taking my hand off the sort of crossbow and just again sort of keeping it tucked a little bit.
What are your guys' passive perceptions?
Like all of us, or just the two of
Just
them?
the two of you.
Uh,
Brittany,
13, 1-3.
12.
13 and 12. Okay.
Alright, suspicious question, DM.
The,
What are your passive perceptions? 12, 13? Alright.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
the man
Yeah.
disappears into the crowd following this, and you see that whoever he was with is also gone. The sort of candor of the tavern resumes, and you guys are free to look around.
Well, good to see that we're always amongst a good crowd here. Why don't you join us for a drink?
Oh, you're too kind. I have a break between my sets, so sure.
And I'll kind of nod her over towards the table. And I'll kind of escort her back over, I guess. Not more just leading the way rather than being like a true guard of any kind. Yeah, I'll lead it back over to the very eclectic group. Oh shit.
All right. Addie, are you currently in Tailspire?
Mine is still updating, to be honest. It's been
Oh,
first.
okay. I see. All right. Well, I'll move your
Alright.
figure over there. No, you're good. You're good. Yes. Now, Victor and Sadrin, I'm not sure what you would have been talking about or what you might have seen from that, but when this began to happen, the crowd became hushed, and from your position, not as focused on the individuals in front of Sudriel and Brittany, you were able to see the crowd react to this. A number of people kind of scoffed, rolled their eyes, and went back to their meals, and a number of others were rapt with attention. You saw a couple more authoritative looking individuals beginning to rise from the crowd just as the man returned the loot to Brittany. And you see them as they walk back to the table. You realize that the music that's been playing throughout the evening has been from the fingers of this individual. And if you could describe some of the aspects of Brittany again real quick, and maybe Sudriel as well.
I am a human who's pretty average in stature, probably on the thinner side, and I have long blonde hair. I'm wearing lots of robes and like rings and jewelry. When you look a little closely, it doesn't necessarily look like it's expensive things, just very flashy things. And I play it up as if it's a costume. And I have the lute with me, but also a couple other instruments strapped to my hip or on my back or whatever. I just have a variety. And some of my clothes have like coins or little things hanging, so I jingle a little bit when I walk. But it also seems like I might be intentionally doing that with the way that she walks and like moves around a lot more so than is necessary.
Also, and for those that didn't get the character description of me like a week ago, I stand a little bit taller than most, not like a giant amongst men, but definitely above the range of 6 foot. And if it weren't for sort of the narrower face and the ears sort of pointing out amongst the sort of black hair, I could almost pass as kind of a paler, taller human. But the beard definitely helps kind of fill that facial feature a little bit, and the ears is pretty much a dead giveaway that I'm an elf.
Not like half elf.
Nope.
As they come over, Victor sitting there, just tinkering, kind of looks up half-heartedly, and gives a hello. Just goes back.
Everyone, this is Brittany, the local entertainer for tonight.
Ah, Brittany, nice
Hey,
to
y'all.
meet you. Sadrin.
Nice to meet you too.
Your music is fantastic.
Oh, stop! You flatter me. It's just what I do.
Well, I love it. We need more of it for sure.
Thank you. I'll do my best to entertain as much as I can.
Before the conversation can continue too much longer, the familiar trudge of Mirio nears, unless, Obi, you had designs to do anything else.
No, Mirio approaches and he walks with like one hand on his left hand on his hip and the other hand like just swings on the side as he approaches. He always has, like, when he walks, he has his left hand on his hip as he walks, like JoJo.
I love it.
Yes. The JoJo gate.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
no, it should be
JoJo
like,
gate.
Mary. Oh.
He like has his hand in his pocket on his hip while he walks.
Just
Mamma
as
mia.
a reminder, how tall is Mirio?
Mirio's 5'1".
My king.
He's a short king.
Rather
King
stout
drives
fellow.
Yep, he's a human. That's 5'1".
My king.
Victor is also short, so short kings rise up.
Honestly. So,
Redwoods unite.
Obi, do you have control over your mini?
I'm in. Oh, now I do. Sorry, I'm not in cutscene mode anywhere. Yeah, I'll move him over.
I got you. Okay.
No, I got him.
Sandra makes a space for you at the table as you kind of poised walk around to the other side and regally place a hand on the chair next to you.
Yeah.
Oh
Brittany,
my god,
you see...
hi! We have a new person at the table! What's
Hello.
your name's Hello?
No. I'm Amirio.
Oh, Mirio! Oh my god, hi. You look familiar, but maybe it's just my imagination. I say that about oh, hi. I'm gonna
Miriam
awkwardly
offering his hand awkwardly in the middle of this.
Oh my gosh.
Brittany sees this and is like, and also takes.
And then when we're shaking, oh my god, you have such a strong grip. Are you? You fight with weapons often? I can tell.
I'm usually a fighter with my hands.
Mirio says this.
That also makes sense.
I think with the giant maul strapped to his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that just for show? I love it if it's a piece of the costume. Genius.
It's for when things get serious.
Oh, when they get a serious. I love it.
Yes.
Anyways, so what's going on? What you all doing? You guys look new. I haven't seen you all here before in a group. You all new to town, or?
Just arrived a couple hours ago. Not even.
Yeah, just passing through.
Did I miss something? You were invited over to the table. Are you the contact we are to speak with?
No, Mirio, this is just a friend. Invited her over for a drink.
Oh.
He was also super nice and helped when this total jerk stole my loot.
Where? Who?
I don't know. He got up and walked away. Some other people got up and, I don't know, were walking too, I think, when he left. I decided to ignore him as soon as I got my loot back, so I can't quite say. Maybe somebody else saw. I don't know.
Well, so good you got your belongings back, do you?
Thanks. Thank you.
Where's this contact, though?
Well, that's something I still haven't figured out. I was going to grab drinks when I thought, never mind. I'll be back, and I'll just go leave to get drinks.
You get up and turn around and see... I'm sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, I'm going to take a look around and ask over my shoulder, so is this contact thing supposed to be, secret, or does it matter how you figure out who it is? Because I can make an announcement. I get the stage quite often in the tavern, since I perform here.
I don't know if it's the best idea. I think it's supposed to be a secret. I'm not sure.
We're being discreet. Love it.
Something like that. I'm gonna go ask a creepy guy in the corner if he knows.
I was just gonna ask if he's still staring at us. I was gonna introduce myself.
Victor
A couple of things. The first, Sudril rises as you are speaking, and Sudril sees the man who was harassing Brittany just earlier, walking through the crowd towards your table.
Oh.
What's the problem, Sudril?
That ignorant
Oh
pompous
my
prick.
god. Can you go away?
He seems to register what you say and grimaces before and sort of pauses, freezes for a moment, as if caught in indecision of some sort. But then fairly shortly after that moment resumes walking towards your table.
I swear this man is our contact.
Rigidly.
Hands.
He reaches into one of the folds of his flowing garment.
I am giving him the worst side eye ever also right now. I'm just going...
He doesn't look at you. But I think if it if any of us were him, the left side of his head might feel a little hot as you bore holes into it. He walks directly over to the table, saying nothing and looking into the distance. And then with gritted teeth, he says, "This is yours." And rigidly pulls his arm out and thunks his fist onto the table before mechanically opening his fingers, raising his arms, and then stepping back with a gasp. You see some coins on the table.
So Victor pauses for a second after his work is jambled, and he gives a, "Do you mind? I'm working. Could you not be a pompous asshole right now, please?"
I'd sort of pat myself down and check my coin purse to see if the difference was. I had, I should say, I had 15 gold. Yeah.
You would have had that, except you paw around in your pocket and discover that you only have 7 gold pieces.
Dang.
The pile on the table is 2 stacks of 3 and a stack of 2, kind of laid lazily on top of each other. You hear a voice. Oh, please.
I must say, well, I appreciate your honesty and your forthcoming. It's by your decision or someone else's, and I'll take the gold and kind of palm it in my hand and sort of put it back into my bag and cinch it a little tighter and kind of adjust it so it's more on the forefront of my kind of belt and closer to my hip.
And as you're doing this, and as Victor says that, the man locks eyes first with you and then with Victor. He balls his fists and spits on the floor next to him before curtly and much more elegantly than the procession sort of marching, form that he had on his way over here. He almost flounces out in a way, very theatrically for sure, but also very, very surely. He stomps away.
What a strange man.
As he's walking away,
Walks away.
can I, angrily whisper after him, "You're still a dick."
He flips you off on his way out.
Back at you.
I yell "sir" after him.
Oh. He doesn't. If you want to run after him, you're certainly more than able to.
As he walks away, Victor kind of you see his hand kind of clink a couple times, and and he goes back to his work and just mumbles something about that guy being a prick. Something doesn't understand.
I would like to try and, I don't know if this is too meta, but it definitely wasn't in character for him to sort of approach like he did. I want to try and figure out if I can see why he was sort of forced. It seemed like he would, it's not at knife point to come up.
He was very stiff.
Could it be
This is a good point to utilize passive insight to see, okay, would your character notice something feels wrong? What's your passive insight?
Passive intelligence? Investigation?
Insight.
Insight.
Insight, sorry, 11. Nope.
11? Yeah, no, you would definitely notice, hey, that wasn't right, but you can't put your finger on it. If you'd like to make an insight roll, you can make a standard roll.
Okay. I don't know what my mod is for that. 17.
A 17. You're not exactly sure what just happened, but it was definitely compelled to do something. And the abrupt shift after quote, completing whatever task it was, tips you off that perhaps he was not in full control of his actions. He does not look around as he leaves, except to cast a dagger-laden glare towards the side of the room, the other side of the room. His eyes search for someone and then lock onto them for a moment. He grimaces again in a sort of like disgusted expression and then resumes his path out of the tavern.
Sorry, clarification. You said the other side of the room, the opposite corner of us?
Not the opposite corner, but if the door is south, rather, if the door is west, then you are on the north side of the room. The glare was to the south side of the room.
Okay, so, yep, towards the hearth.
Exactly. And it is as you are quickly cinching your coin purse back that another voice comes to you and says, "You should keep an eye out for people like him." Some of you look, and one of you, Sudril, turns around to see a robed, hatted, staffed, wizard-looking individual. He brushes a hand against his cloak and reveals under a fold of cloth a small harp, a brooch, the exact one you've been looking for. And he says, "Does this look familiar to you?"
I'll reply in kind, only if this one looks familiar to you, and I'll sort of pull one kind of near my lapel, just kind of flipping the neck lapel up some, as it would be sort of under where sort of like a tie would sit, a small silver sort of harp, before kind of folding it back over.
He grins and says, "I think so. My name is Zelrone. I assume that you are the ones that my contacts have sent me."
Yes, we are the group.
Excellent. When did you arrive?
Within recent time. It's not been more than a short while, a few minutes.
I see. Well, welcome to Daggerford. I've recently come back into the city. I had extended business throughout the day. I've been at work myself. He smiles as he says these things. And under the hat, you see a dark, suntanned complexion with age worn proudly upon his somewhat jovial features. He looks around and says, "There's 5 of you. I was expecting 5, but he looks at Victor then and says, "Well, I don't suppose you're the nimble, right?"
No, this one here.
I am not that wonderful piece of machinery.
She's just a friend, and I'll kind of nod to Brittany.
Do a little, like,
I'd say that if you play here fairly often, you actually know Zelrayun. He is also he says, "Oh, yeah, Brittany, I should have known. Welcome to the table. I don't suppose you would mind giving us a minute for business, unless, of course, you're in on things now." He furrows his brow, wondering about whether he just revealed something.
No, she's just around for a drink, right? I'll kind of, yeah.
I guess that's what you invited me for. I don't really know what business you're doing.
I mean, if you
want me to.
want an adventure, another girl would be nice to have on the team. Just saying.
It's true. 2 girls is always better than 1.
Exactly.
Sadrian, this is sort of official.
That's what my father used to say about.
Srahd comes to his senses and says, "Oh, what am I saying? You've all traveled this whole way. You must need a night's rest. And I think a drink between the lot of us would be a good idea." He flags down the nearest barmaid and orders around for everybody if you'll have it.
I don't think anybody would turn down a free drink.
I
I
can't
don't think
remember.
so.
Didn't I say I didn't drink?
You did try to find water.
Yeah, you did.
No, thank you. I don't drink. That's
Oh,
not.
treat yourself. Yeah, you're very welcome.
I hate to be rude, but before this night progresses, is the dude behind us still staring at our group? Just curious. I don't want to look over my shoulder, so I'm hoping someone else glances.
First of all, how loudly do you say that?
I whisper talk. Obviously not shouting, but whispering it loud enough that hopefully it's heard by my group over the din of the rest of the noise. Yeah. Well, not floating.
Right.
Victor, he pulls out just a little piece of sheet metal that he might have on him, and tries to look behind him in the reflection.
Mirror effect, yeah.
You're trying to look behind you?
Yeah.
Roll a sleight of hand. I'll let you know that the DC is going to be different than normal.
9. I can't see
On the
shit
9.
off this piece of metal. It's just blurry.
You manage to sort of get a warped image of what's behind you. Somehow you've managed to keep a fairly shined piece of sheet metal with you all this time. And you see enough to catch the fact that whoever it is behind you is looking at you directly, particularly at the piece of metal. The rest of you who are looking at this display see that Victor is sort of painfully shining a beam of light all across the back corner. It's flashing everywhere, and then when finally it settles upon the eye, if you're watching, you see the individual blink, kind of try to duck out of the way.
It would appear, yes, that individual is still there, and he blinked and ducked and tried to get out of the way.
Interesting. You probably blinded him, but that's all right. Can I?
He's really good at hearing people, so he probably doesn't need his eyes over there.
You're not wrong.
That's what peeping toms get.
Brittany, do you recognize the gentleman in the corner?
Oh, tall, dark, and handsome back there?
Sure.
You can either make a background assertion where you can say, "Oh, I've played here for long enough that I have been curious and have tried to ask around to figure out who this is," or you may try to roll a history check.
I'll try to roll a history check.
Okay.
Yeah, girl, get it.
It's definitely dark. Don't know about the other two.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Just someone a little jealous.
Yeah, so that's a 3.
On a 3, you don't know who this person is, but the fact that he's always there listening to your performances is a great comfort.
So...
Is it?
Absolutely no
Is it?
clue.
Creepy dark man sitting in the corner, comforting.
You don't
But to
ever
be
see him
honest,
otherwise.
I let him keep his little mysterious vibe going on because he probably would stab me if I came and talked to him. But I've seen him here quite a bit.
Interesting.
He doesn't really interact too much, so I don't know how much of a threat he is because he hasn't stabbed anyone yet. But he definitely gives off the vibe that he would if you piss him off.
Well, we're all arms.
I tell you what, we got the smart guy, we got the big old tough masculine guy, we got Mario, he's a cool guy. We got the nice ladies. But we don't have a stabby guy. So you think we should see if he wants to join up?
I want to go say hi to him, and I just turn and skip over to the table.
What? Just kind of like in like a sigh of defeat, just kind of like resting my head in my hands. At first, it was like, okay, Brittany's here just for a drink, and now we're going to talk to the shady dude in the corner. So I'm like trying to come to grips with the reality.
When I get to the
Zelrion is like,
I look over at Zach, and I'm like, well, I don't really look over. I just kind of like nudge my voice toward him while I continue to work. Like, see, this is what happens when you're a leader. You have to set a good example.
And I thought I was.
Well, yes, you think that, but everybody's going to follow your lead. So when you invite somebody, everybody else is going to invite somebody. This is 101, buddy.
Yeah, I might as well go up to this pointy-hatted gentleman over there and see if he wants to come over too.
I am going to just burn this place to the ground.
Ooh.
Victor's
face lights up a little bit.
Zelrion leans over and says, "There's a lot that you can learn from a night of drinking, my friend. Perhaps this person knows something about the woods. Look at the garb. And if you take a moment to observe, we'll have one quick observation before Sadrin gets over there. If you don't, that's fine as well. So you can make a perception check.
Kind of lifting my head from my hands with a perception check of 17.
A 17. On a 17, you look and you see the marks of somebody who has made their own way through the world alone for a long time. Whereas the individual who came to harass you guys not but moments ago was clothed in the discarded garments of other people. This person is clad in hide and furs and the sort of outlander type clothing you would expect to find on somebody who's learned to feed themselves with a bow. Alone, perhaps in the woods, which you are meaning to go investigate. What Zelrion says is worth noting, at the very least. He says, "You see what I mean? You look like you're about to sneeze."
I was like on this verge of sneezing like 3 or 4 times there. Holy shit! None of it never came. It never came to fruition.
Zelrion slaps you on the back.
I'm like a big puff of like candle smoke just like hits me in the face. I'm like,
nice. And it is as this is happening, as you're trying to like sneeze unsuccessfully, and Zelrion's trying to smack it out of you through your back, that Sadrin makes it to the table.
I like plant my hands on the edge of the table and kind of lean in and go, "Hey, so you may not be staring, but we've definitely caught you looking at a group a couple of times, and it's just a little creepy's not the right word. Awkward.
Jarring.
Do you need anything?
Adrian, leave the man alone, Sadrin.
I like turn my head over my shoulder. Shut up, Mirio. Turn back around and go, do you need a buddy, a drink? Do you want to join us? You look all alone in this dark corner. It just does not suit you well.
Oh, sorry if I came across as staring. You're new. I haven't seen. I was just keeping an eye out. You made a bit of a statement with your group already. So
it's a little rude to stare at something that's new. New doesn't mean bad. Just new.
in my life, it's more information I have, safer I am. So.
Oh, you're one of those blokes. Got it. Anyway, would you like to join us for a drink? Get out of your dark hole.
I gotta be honest, I don't know if it's the music from Tailspire, but I can barely hear Bradley.
I can speak into my mic.
Brett is a little quiet.
Sorry.
It's the edginess that's making him more silent. you're on a knife's edge, bated breath, waited for his.
Colonel, I'm trying to play D&D.
I appreciate the drink, but it's not necessary. I can pack up my things. It's no big deal. I'm sorry.
No. I was not shooing you out of this tavern, which I'm assuming you are in quite a bit, considering that you fit into this dark corner very, very well. Literally, just don't want you to continue staring, and would rather you join us for a drink. Come.
Oh,
and
okay.
I literally just turn and walk back to the table.
It's as you're doing these things that you get a glimpse, the same glimpse that Sudriel got. Somebody who's made their living out of hunting. Hides, furs, rough sewing, and a general unkemptness that accompanies not really living in a town. Also, not that it's offensive, but there is a sort of gamey smell in this corner.
Gamey smell?
Gamey.
For the rest of you,
All right.
as for the rest of you, musk?
His musk.
The musk, yeah. As for the rest of you, it's as this is going down, you're listening in because Sadrin is speaking loud enough to be heard, I assume. And
Not quiet, typically.
the barmaid returns, unable to see due to the volume of drinks that she bears on her arms. You note that she must have a practiced knowledge of the layout of this place because she literally cannot see in front of her. And as you make way for her around the table, she sets it all down and with one great shove plants it on the table. The ale sloshes in and out of the mugs, the tankards, and she makes sure everything's on the table before saying, "There you go. Oh dear." You can see that she glances over the lot of the drinks to see that Sadrin is addressing the man in the corner and says, "Well, let me know how that goes," and she leaves.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to wonder if it's worth knowing everybody that we encounter at this point. As I kind of lean back to what's his name? To Zaron.
He leans back. He leans to you as well. Says, "I think that the trick is to not allow yourself to truly be known. It gets harder when you've got a few drinks, but other people are less likely to notice who you really are if you can keep up the persona. You know what I mean? We don't have to reveal who we are to invite somebody to the table." And he calculatedly pulls the fabric over the place where his Harper emblem is.
Right. I'm kind of like doing this and kind of making sure that mine's sort of tucked as well, I guess.
He says, "By the way, which of you is the other Harper? I heard there were going to be 2 and 2.
Victor keeps working. He's not paying attention.
I believe it was...
Victor.
You would remember it to be Victor.
Yeah, I'd say it's Victor. I couldn't remember if it was...
Yeah, it was
I thought
me.
Mirio was the other one. But, yeah, Victor. It's the, eccentric one.
What?
Nothing.
Yes.
Just...
Yes, that's me. I'm the other half. I heard what you said, by the way. I'm working, but I am listening. It's a thing that I do.
Always
yes,
listening,
that is me.
never
I'm
really
I'm a harper.
thinking.
I am always thinking. Look at this shit that I'm making, right? Actually, you wouldn't understand it. It's okay. But anyway, yes,
My
it is me.
gaze does not leave Zoran at all. It's just like he's just talking, and I'm just staring.
It's me. I am the other harper. Yes.
Well, you automata types, you know. You have your interests,
Hey,
and
what
that's
the
fine.
fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What does that mean? That seems a little ableist right now.
I'm
I won't
offended,
lie.
and I don't know what an automaton what word is.
Oh, are
How
you
about
familiar?
everybody takes a drink?
Did they find water?
I'll
There
go
is
get
no
some.
water.
Okay.
However, in many towns like this, you know there to be wells. If they don't stock it here, you could find it yourself.
He sits for a minute. I'll get it later.
And you guys begin your first round of drinks. Meanwhile, Sodrin and Brad. Sodrin, you said you were leaving after.
Yeah,
you...
I was gonna throw the invite out to him the second time and then turn around and start walking back. And when I'm like halfway back to the table, like check over my shoulder to see if he's following. And I'm assuming he's not, since he likes his dark hole.
Well, I wanted to ask actually, Brad, how does your character react after that?
Well, he feels kind of almost forced now at this point to uncomfortably join. So against his better judgment and what he would like to do, he kind of sits there for a second, looks at his things, and starts putting them together, and gets ready to stand up, sits back down a little, and then stands up and follows over.
All right. You see that Sodrin comes loping back over and rejoins her place at the table. Meanwhile, looking over her shoulder, you also see that the man falteringly, begins to make his own way over. And as the candlelight illuminates his figure, you see somebody who looks like they have lived outside the walls for a long time, and not in a cozy hamlet. This is somebody who lives rough for a living.
Oh, you decided to join us. Oh, that's a new development.
Well, it felt a little hard to turn down that invite.
You're welcome. This is our group. I'm Sajin. This is everyone else. You might recognize Brittany from playing here in the tavern quite often.
Hey.
Brittany, it's nice to meet all of you.
I don't say any of my other companions' names, though. I leave that up to them if they want to introduce themselves. Because I know that I forced the situation, but...
Really half sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Zabrion welcomes you heartily, saying, come join us. And I think if you'd like a drink, we might have an extra one for you. He motions to the one that is sitting in front of Victor.
Drink sounds nice. I appreciate it. And I'll kind of grab it and begin sipping on it, and kind of settle into the seat that I've now taken up. I guess my name's Aiden. Thanks for inviting me over.
Of course. What's the problem? Okay. Why is Muriel on the ground?
Videos are just taking a nap.
Hey, Bowser.
Mamma mia.
Oh my gosh.
Mama time. Mama Luigi.
You take your drink. All of you begin in unison to start like drinking and conversing. Does anything in particular come up in your conversation? Do you want to ask questions of each other? Do you want to keep things from each other, etc., etc.?
I'm fine with an open night of dialogue. Aiden, was it? Yes?
Yes.
Aiden, what do? You don't seem like you work in the city.
No, I haven't spent time in a city in many years. It's been a while. More recently, I've been living kind of off the land. My brother and I, we've just been in town for a little while now, and we'll probably head back out to our property.
Sounds like you live a very adventurous life.
I try to not be too adventurous. More so, just the adventure seems to find us.
Wait, you said you have a brother. Where is he?
Oh, he's I believe off, maybe gathering a few things. We're supposed to meet back here in a few days, more likely. But yeah, it's he's out of town for now.
Gotcha. Victor, what are you working on?
Oh, so he's like trying to like think at the same time. He's like, have you ever heard of a weapon of returnal?
Can't say that I have.
All right, so essentially, I can throw something. Then it's using some very nice machinery, some very intricate machinery. I can make it come back to me in an instant, as you might say. So, in the fashion of not wanting to ever be disarmed, I'm currently trying to take this dart and turn it into a finger, and then apply it to my prosthetic arm, and then I will always have a weapon and can never be disarmed, as they say.
And what if your arm gets cut off?
Well, it already kind of happened, my guy. And he just kind of like puts the mechanical arm on the table.
Well, I can see that, but maybe you lose the arm entirely.
Well, it can come off unless I let it come off. So it would have to be some pretty serious damage, and mathematically, what's the chances of that happening again? And he's gonna do actual math.
Zelrayun, first of all, roll a straight intelligence check, and then roll it at advantage, because Zelrayun says, well, I think that you'll find that you're here to track down some werewolves. The possibility might be a little more immediate than you might assume.
That is with advantage, that's an 18.
To do the math on
To do the
arm
math.
getting ripped off?
Yeah. On the probability.
You calculate probabilities. You think about general population statistics, and then apply that sort of idea to how many creatures or things might be in the woods. You factor in many different variables from different factors, like what time of day is it? Where will we be searching? How long will we be searching? Will we be going deep into the forest? Will we be mostly on the countryside? And your calculations lead you to believe that the more you stay in the city, the less the chance that your arm is going to be torn from its socket. The more you venture out, the more the chance increases. And you do all these super complicated statistical analyses in your head to come to the simple conclusion that if you are adventuring outside the walls at night, it's not a non-zero. It's a non-zero chance that you're your arm happens to get ripped off. And the bigger the creature that you're fighting, the more the chance it is.
So it's it's a possibility. Nothing's ever impossible per se.
Uh,
But I'm taking my chances. And besides, I'll just make another one. It'll be cool.
Did I hear correctly? You're hunting some werewolves. So
Oh, yes.
Zarion claps his hand over his mouth. I'd say that at this point, there's been a couple rounds for everybody and 3 more for Zarion.
Again, I'm just like every time.
it's not some.
He said, it's for the good of everybody that I bring this up.
It's not an easy, target. Werewolves are. It's just the how many of it? 5.
4 of us,
6
technically.
of you.
4 of us and Zalrun. Yeah, so 5.
That's just the 5 of you. It's seems pretty dangerous.
Zarion claps Sudra on the back and says, I told you! And he looks over to Brittany and says, I told him.
Okay, well,
You could join us.
if they're as dangerous as you say they are, you
You could join
must
us.
have had some experience with this.
a little
Oh.
bit.
Define a little bit.
I've had my dealings and a little bit of training towards that end.
Training towards the end of hunting werewolves or just training in general?
Let's say I don't have a fondness for werewolves.
Wait,
And
who
they
does,
seem
really?
to be. They have taken up residency in my forest as well, which is in part of maybe one of the reasons my brother and I have been spending so much time in town in recent months. But
How about this? We seem to have an amicable goal of, removing said nuisance from the woods would be beneficial for us both. Wouldn't hurt for you to
You
tag
could join
along,
us.
and it wouldn't hurt for you to help us track him, them, however many it is.
Are they called packs?
Does it matter what they're called?
Yes, I do
Maybe.
believe that.
Given that they're based off of, they're canine in nature, I would assume so.
Yes, it does matter. So the information it matters, my guy.
Exactly.
You have to be
Right.
You have to be
Well, if you help us figure out where this pack or its leader is, we would be, again, helping you out as well. You obviously cannot take them alone or even with your brother, but I'm sure the combined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us, and I kind of point to the wizard sort of sitting to my side. I'm still not clear if you actually are in on this.
Oh, if I will be joining you.
Yes.
No, I'm afraid not. I will be off onto my next venture in the morning. That's part of why I'm having such a good time tonight. He kind of bobbles his head. He's like,
kind of a
elbows
dick
you.
move.
Right.
I wouldn't say so. Your goal is not to eradicate the threat so much as to find where they are and to report back. If you think you can do more, that's fine, of course.
Oh.
Unless he leans in, weirdly conspiratorially, and says, "Do you think you need my help?"
It's fine. You
I gotta say,
seem
so
rather interested, anyways.
you seem kind of creepy now that you lean in like that. So I'll be honest. It's a no from me.
He's immediately offended at that. It's like, I am not.
Aha. It's exactly what someone that's creepy would. As a creepy motherfucker, I know a creepy motherfucker when I see one.
Well,
He, like, looks like he's about to get mad, and then he comes to his
It's
senses.
the
he's
takes
like,
one to know one mentality.
yeah, he's like in the martyrdom
Okay,
shit
you're
on
the
this
point.
one. He's like, I'm creepy as fuck. I don't know what you're talking about.
And as he's like, well, and that brings me to my next question. Brittany. That's your name, right?
Yes, it's Brittany.
Well, I'm Victor. Nice to meet you. I apologize
Nice
for
to
my
meet
absent-mindedness. Anyways, are you one of those simply play the music type of bards, or one of those use your music to shred people into tiny bits kind of bards?
I've done both.
Okay,
Currently,
okay.
it's entertainment.
What kind of question is that?
I think it's a very fair
That's
question.
the proper kind of question.
I mean, why would if someone just has a flute, why would I want to take them out and fight a pack of
it's the
werewolves?
best question you've
that's
asked
like
all
asking-
night.
That's like asking a woodcutter, hey, are you the normal log chopping kind of woodcutter, or are you the serial killer kind of woodcutter?
No, it's not. That's
It's
also
exactly
a fair.
the same.
That's also a fair question sometimes if you think
That's,
about it.
oh, that's not. That would
I do know the statistics on how many woodcutters have been serial killers in the past 50
care.
years.
There's no way that you
Alarming.
know that.
It's alarmingly high. Oh, he knows. He's just.
You know what's creepy is that you know that off the top of your head.
I know a lot of shit. Okay.
It's not established.
Victor, no offense, but you kind of come off as slightly creepy, if I'm being totally honest.
Oh no,
He did just say that. He said that, I think.
I am
Like-
100%.
Like serial killer creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
if
would
I
I?
was as creepy as you were, I'd be creepy.
I mean, okay. Whoever told you that I killed people, they were fucking lying. Whoever
Excuse
told you
me.
that was stupid.
Do you?
No.
You're a horror man.
How are you going to help us then?
Me?
Yes,
Or-
you.
It's
I-
not
If we get-
murder. Those
If
monsters
we get into a
aren't-
scrap and have to protect ourselves by killing off werewolves or ogres or whatever, what are you going to do? Sit there and whittle on your little arm?
He squints, sits back, and he just like he holds the arm up, and he casts shock and grasp on the arm, and like you see like a small kind of like a cylinder shape in the palm kind of crackles with electricity. He's like, 1, never disrespect the arm. 2, I can do some shit. Trust me.
Well, at least someone knows a little bit of magic.
This is science.
Oh, my bad.
Zelrayun is literally pogging. Looking at that. He says, I knew there was something special about you. More than just being creepy.
Victor's like, okay, don't patronize me now. It's okay.
Yes, I guess that's fine. It's whatever. Again, Aiden, the 4 of us and yourself will track down the werewolves. That's all right with you.
Are you leaving out Brittany again?
I didn't think Brittany was coming with us.
Well,
Why do you think I asked if she was
yeah,
gonna
it would be
become magic?
rude. It would be rude to just, not even invite her.
Well, unless it's not her.
Well, hey,
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like,
ignore these guys' rudeness.
The real question is,
Right.
do you want to really join this group of crazy
about
people?
this?
That guy? He points at Victor.
Okay,
I mean, I
fine,
haven't
fine.
done anything fun in a while, so I'm down.
Oh my god.
see?
Oh my
See,
god.
she's
I cannot believe this.
down.
I
And
cannot
if-
believe this shit.
What do you mean? You cannot believe this shit.
I'm not had enough to drink yet. And
That's
I will
right,
never,
you haven't.
I
Slides.
will never be able to
Undertaker
drink
said.
myself to the point that I can handle this.
That's quitter
So
talk.
here we are.
Put her
Yeah,
down.
fine. No worries. Promise you'll be okay.
Now, my next question, and he's still tinkering, is Hey, you'll have to forgive my ignorance here, because I'm simply no monster hunter. I just read a lot of books. Would it be easier to track these werewolves? Do they turn back in the day? And if so, would it be easier to find them in their human form than strike them down?
That is an excellent question, and I have been hard at work waiting for you and going through the misty woods. I haven't found anyone, if you can believe it, other than some bears and some druids, which gave me some berries, and that was a good time.
Did they give you any mushrooms?
They tried. I politely refused because I hear that you change once you take the shrooms.
Well, something changes, but never mind. It's besides the point.
Right. Well, I think we've had a lot to drink, and I'll kind of look at the tankards on the table, sumptuously there being a lot more than when we first started.
Yeah, a lot of them are piled in front of Zelrayun. And he says, and by a lot I mean like I said earlier, 3 more than everybody else.
Yeah.
If Zelrayun were a dwarf, he's not. You've seen through the night that he's more human than anything else. He might have taken it better if he was a little stouter, but he's not. He's just a wiry mage individual. You've seen him prestidigitate some effects throughout the evening to tell some stories, but it doesn't look like he can hold his drink very well, and yet he's very eager to. In any case, he is just about to flag down the barmaid again as you say this, and then he stops. He says, "Oh, yes, perhaps. Although, if you think about it, you can try tracking in the day, or you can just go take a look-see at night."
Either way, I think we should not do it tonight.
No. We definitely need some good sleep. Zelrayun definitely needs to go to bed.
And I need to.
I could do this all night.
No, you can't. You're already tripping over your own words.
Sage and Miria, why don't you get him to a room?
Sounds good. Zelrayun, do you already have a room?
There's no rooms here. You got to go to the other places to do that.
Do you already have one?
I might. Look, it's okay. I can make it to my own room.
How about
And
I
if we're done here tonight? No, it's quite all right.
I would not
I
want you
do
to
this.
get attacked by a werewolf and eaten mysteriously, and you not be able to go on with your next, adventure after this. So let me just walk you to your room. It's happening. Don't argue with me.
You know what a wall is? There's no werewolves here.
It is happening. Stop arguing with me.
I don't have to argue if you can't find me. And he snaps his fingers and nothing happens. He says, "Here." And at about the 7th snap, he poofs out of the table in a burst of mist, and you hear a clatter from on the other side of the tap room as you see Zelrayun fall on his ass.
Oh, brother.
He gets up and sort of whirls around with the staff, rights his hat crookedly, and says, "Goodbye now. If you need to find me tomorrow, you can check around the magic shop next door." And he begins to leave the tavern.
I'm gonna follow him just to make sure he gets at least to some other building inside before. Yeah.
On his way out, he says, "Look at me!" and spends a spell slot to cast fly on himself and begins to just swim through the air.
Hell of a contact we got there, huh? Harper's,
How
we're a real stand-up
that
organization.
take that man's keys away. He smells it.
Take that man's
Say-
arcane focus
Sage,
away.
Having a little too much
Muriel,
fun
just-
with Zelda.
Just follow him home. Just
I'm
make
already
sure he
halfway
gets-
through the tavern on my way out to follow him.
Muriel,
so.
go with her and see if he gets into anything up high.
He opens the door with some difficulty and like bumps into the frame on his way out and starts like pizza spinning into the air and slowly levitating.
Oh gosh.
As he should.
As he should.
Hey Bliss,
Hey.
real fast.
Yes.
How many hours worth would you say I've completed?
One.
One still from last week?
Yes. Particularly because the dialogue here was interrupted.
Okay.
No, I would say 2 total. Not in addition to what you've already done, but 2 total for the evening. If you have been very focused.
Yes, he has been
Now,
taking the entire time.
I'm going to pull us all back to
GM.
if I can load it. The town map. Aiden and Brittany are the most familiar and able-bodied among you to get you to accommodations. There might not be anything in the Lady Luck Tavern, but you guys would know.
As we walk out, Victor just kind of says, for a place called Lady Luck Tavern, that it's not very lucky that we went to the one tavern that doesn't have rooms.
I think the 2 of you who have been here longest would also know that, like, it's just like tavern rooms are like for roadhouses or very nice taverns in big cities.
What?
I said our guild on every 7 turns me out.
Why?
I just promoted a whole bunch of people to vice captain because
I have to find my Daggerford map. Also, Addie, if you need to have a combo, that's all right. But please mute. There is a place around the corner. It's just I don't have the name on hand.
The Winking Skeever.
Nice. Classic.
Yep.
Oh. Holy cow, please just let me in. There we are. All right.
Okay.
Yes, so there's a place. You can kind of see that you guys are in the main square with a large tavern next to you. The tavern also seems to have some closed shops attached to the building. You just happen to have gone to the Lady Luck Tavern because that's where you needed to go. But if you wish to bed down for the night, you guys would know that there is a lovely little place just down the street near the Temple of Lathander, this golden dome-looking building. And the place is called Lizard's Gizzard.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Hi, how you doing?
I love it.
Fantastic.
Obi, how are you taking your guy off his pedestal?
I don't know.
Light?
It's the actions. It's the actions.
Whoa.
Oh,
How do I do that?
Ooh, night mode. I like it.
Right click your character.
Emote.
Oh,
Twirl.
shit, what up? Wiggle, wiggle.
Yes, and so
Really, everybody was like,
the lizard's gizzard. I've just placed some torches on the roadside. If you wish to board there, it would be 2 silver.
Yeah, let's board the lizard gizzard.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Let's sleep with the lizard
I
gizzard.
feel like I'm Naruto running up and down this road.
I think you are. It's mostly because you're crouched, I think.
Yes, it's perfect. I did this on purpose.
And so, if all of you go there, with the moon in the sky, visible through very sparse cloud cover, it's perfectly clear. You see the celestial vault, and somewhat foreign to our own eyes, unless you've been out of the city or suburban areas recently. The sky is not black where the moon is not present. Rather, the moon is a bright spot amongst a sea of stars. The cosmic spread illuminates in some fashion the sky above, but not the ground below. Only the moonlight, gives you visual of what is in front of you. And the moon is full, or at least getting close to. It's hard to see until you squint and you see it's waning into full. It's then that something eclipses the moon, not like fully, but comes into the lunar circle. And you see a familiar shape. Zelrium, high above Daggerford, currently. Yelling and hooting and hollering. And he's got some companions with him. You can't tell what they are, but little black shapes flit around him.
Oh my gosh.
You think one of them might be a halfling, about the size of a reveler, or perhaps a gnome. In any case, this happens, and then you are left to see nothing of him as he exits the moon's sphere.
well, glad to see he got home safely.
Oh, totally. I have given up.
Right.
Where is something?
I might ask, Brittany, are you staying here, or are you staying somewhere else?
I have a place in town that I've been staying at, so I'll probably just go back there.
Oh, right. Well, it is late. I'll walk you home.
Ooh.
Oh no, it's fine. It's not that far, but I
Give that
appreciate the
to you.
offer. And I'm just gonna turn and start walking out.
Bye, Brittany.
Bye, Brittany. It's very
See y'all
nice to meet you.
tomorrow.
See ya.
See Susan, she's a strong, independent woman. You can't fumble the bag like that, as the kids say.
Well, I must say that you've done a fair bit of fumbling it yourself.
Yes, but I admit it.
Right. Good job. And I'll pat him on his non-mechanical shoulder and kind of squeeze it a bit before stepping inside the inn for the night.
The lizard's gizzard. You see little pieces of the town as it's moonlit, and guards actually patrol around with torches in pairs of 2. If you linger for just a second, you see as Brittany ducks down the way and it passes one of these patrols, another one having just passed you. So inside of town is fairly well watched. Of course, if you were inclined to be skullduggerous in any fashion, you could manage just about anything you wished with the gaps, but there's visibility that it seems to be safe.
We wake up tomorrow morning, teen heartthrob Brittany is dead on the sidewalk.
Oh my, her last words scrawled out on a parchment. Oh my god, if only someone would have walked me home.
Why was I
did want-
so naive?
I did want to open the opportunity. If you want to describe the place to which you retire for the evening, you can have the floor for a moment. If not, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you, yes, Brittany, because
No,
the rest of you are going to Lizard Gizzard.
no, I think it's just probably one of the
Yes.
other housing complexes.
Okay, another boarding house.
Everything not pink?
It's all aquamarine.
It's all aquamarine.
It's also it's actually just jet black, like everything. is black.
Yeah, it's just like it's a blighted spot upon the entire town.
Brittany.
It's just this pitch black circle.
Brittany is privately goth, and that's canon.
She's probably a big Oppenheimer fan.
That's awesome.
Only goth in private.
So, available to you, there are 2 separate Dragonback inns on the north side of town. The Chateau Elite, the Silver Flood Inn on the south side of town. And that is it, unless you like camping. So whichever of those you so desire, to imagine at least, you may retire there for the evening. The rest of you trundle in through the doorway to the Lizard's Gizzard Inn. You walk through the pleasantly arched door and enter a very quiet establishment. As it's getting to the point of the evening where people are beginning to sleep. You anticipate it might get a little rowdier once the revelers return or retire to bed in full shortly. But for now, there's a lull. And a sleepy-looking half-elf woman puts down a book as you enter. Says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, I need a place to stay tonight. Just a room for. I'll look at the automata next to me. I guess 2. I'm the only one that will be sleeping though.
You know you pay for beds, right?
Just the one bed then.
Okay. 1 bed, 2 silver per bed. 3 if you get a 2-bedroom. She looks over your shoulders at the rest of your group piling in.
They're fine to take care of themselves. Just the 1 bedroom.
All right, 2 silver for you.
And I'll pull 2 silver.
She takes it and says, "Thank you. You're just down a couple doors to the right."
I gotta do my finances here. There we
go. As you're walking through this place, you see it's fairly plain, stuccoed walls with wooden supports jutting out, and there are some decorations hung here and there. The coast where you're currently at Daggerford is not very well known for having lizard or reptilian creatures in large supply. And so most of what is on the walls to kind of, keep in line with Lizard's Gizzard is very small hides, which look like if you took a lizard and kind of flattened it on the ground and then put a nail through its tail to hang it on the wall. There's just a bunch of these strewn on plaques here and there with funky little names attached to them. As well, there are illustrations of a number of different reptilian and draconic individuals. Everything from some stately-looking dragonborn portraits, rendered quickly. And you see one of those portraits shows a wizard with a very large book. The rest of you, if you want to share rooms, we'll need to figure that out. But if you want to pay for individual rooms, it's 2 silver per bed.
I will get my own room.
As will I.
And
Definitely own room.
yep, thought so. The boy.
Boy.
And once I kind of get in my room and I close the door behind me and I go to the window in my room and I open up the window and from my pouch I pull up a little bundle of fabric and I kind of lay it on the windowsill and I start pulling it open apart and in it revealing some bits of food and scrap from my dinner, and I kind of leave it on the windowsill with the windowsill open as I go to bed.
Victor goes into his room and he takes off the harbor pin and kind of like half-heartedly throws it onto like a desk or a dresser or a cabinet, whatever would be available at that type of height. And then he will spend the next 3 hours working on his dart finger. And then he will go to bed.
Are you going to work till 3 in the morning?
Is that what time it is?
It's getting there.
Yeah, we'll work till 3 in the morning.
All right. I will say, if you do that again, you will risk exhaustion, particularly if the day's travels are exhausting. But since you had a carriage ride here, it wasn't terrible. So, yeah. Go ahead and add those 3 hours to your tally, and then tally ho off to Dreamland. What Arsenius, dude?
Little man's
No,
not
he's
going
not.
tonight.
I have to ask a question for when I get to like my room.
Yes.
Is there like a rug or something in the room? Or just...
There's a very threadbare, like, basically a bolt of burlap on the ground, something to catch mud.
Okay.
It's not. It's opaque. It doesn't have large holes in the thread.
I'll drag that over, or kind of like shimmy it over in front of the door, like a doormat would be, just kind of in front of the, or at inside, like where a doormat would be on the outside. And I'm gonna do this thing.
You're sending it to me?
Yeah.
He's actually stuffing the rug under the door so he can smoke
Yep.
a doobie without getting in trouble.
Hell yeah.
Him and the robot, how his balls.
After I do that, I will kind of turn to the clockwork automaton. Just keep an eye out for things. If anybody breaks in, feel free to, retain them. And I'll go and kind of unload my things and lay down on the bed, pop up in my journal, and go back to reading a few things that I was sort of looking at before. Again, sort of scratching my head at certain quandaries and certain things in there, and scribbling in a few small notes every so often before heading off to bed before too long, maybe an hour or so.
Sorry, responding to people and things. Okay. Does anybody else do anything?
When Sajin gets to her room, how, like, What does the handle for the door look like? Like, is it like one of those like old-fashioned like wood through a latch door secures, or is it like a sophisticated like handle?
So there is a iron ring. No, yeah, there's an iron ring on both sides. On the inside, you see that there are some notches in the door jamb, and a board which is designed to slide into them. The door opens into the room, and there, of course, is furniture that you could move in front of it, just like a dresser,
Yeah.
like a dressing, not dressing table, but like the side table.
Right. Okay, so she's gonna do that after closing herself in, and then she's just gonna like hop in bed, say a quick little prayer to no god in particular, just a quick little prayer, and literally just like curl up and go to sleep.
Roll religion for me, if you will.
Oh boy. That is a 12.
A 12.
Yep.
Prayer is a tricky subject because, on the one hand, it is eminently beneficial to the person who is praying. On the other hand, it is meant to be a communication to a deity. And trying to shoot the gap between any deity and, praying to something outside of yourself is a tricky one, a tricky problem, trickier than your normal prayer to a single god. On a 12, you try to hone your senses and shut them off. You try to focus yourself in the moments before sleep, and as the sounds of the village filter in, or rather the town filter in through the window to your room, shut as it is, you find a sort of cadence, a meditative ambiance. And on that 12, while you speak for a while in prayer, it is only the very last sentence which you feel is a genuine outpouring. And satisfied that you don't need to speak any more than that, you fall promptly to sleep.
Obi, your child is the definition of a full head empty thoughts. he is 100% just in a new realm right now. He is transcended time and space.
He was entranced by that spoon tapping.
Yeah, dude. He had his tongue out. He was like full vibing for a minute. It was just like
he's hella autistic. The
like
kid,
his father.
Yeah, the kid really likes
before me.
So we did find out that he bangs his head into stuff, which is pretty baby, but we found out that it's very common for babies to headbutt things really hard if they have sensory overload issues, aka autism spectrum stuff, and he really likes it when we tap his forehead.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Or headbutt him. He likes it when we headbutt him. It's like
Pound it, noggin.
Dude.
Dude.
Alright. Obi, I don't know if you caught, but if you want to sleep in the inn, it's 2 silver.
Okay, I'll subtract it from my inventory.
And if you wish to do any nighttime rituals before you fall to sleep, of course you may, but it's not strictly necessary. Same goes to you, Brittany.
I think Mirio's just gonna seethe himself to sleep.
You spiral into unconsciousness as you usually do, in a blanket of memories.
Tossing and turning until he passes out.
Brother, don't go in the mansion.
brother.
Go in.
Brother, it's scam.
No, I can hit it. No.
Brother, they want your
Wah.
credit. Information.
Mario!
Wah.
Wow.
Wah! Wah!
All right, now it is nighttime. You have made it to your first sleep of the campaign. Congratulations. If you would like to take a break, the lot of you, or if any of you in particular would like a break, now is a good time to. Is that something you would like to do?
Yeah, take a $5.
Yeah.
Take a 5.
Take-
Yep.
take a fiver.
Level to 15.
Level to 10.
Please, sir.
Alright,
might I have
compromise,
an
level to
ounce
3.
of experience?
Compromise. Level.
Compromise. Level 33?
Yes, you
12.
gotta tell them you want to level to 20.
No level cap?
And then when you say, oh, okay, well, in that
No,
case, I'll just
I
level
don't
to
think
3.
so. No immediate benefits. No immediate
Damn it.
benefits.
Damn it.
You guys have been doing really well with the roleplay, I'd say. So
I'm having a
I'm
blast.
keeping it in mind. Let me think real quick about how everything went down. I actually will give you something for being engaged. For being engaged with the idea of roleplay, and for not. In fact, I think I was the goofiest of everybody, and for that, I want you guys to all take inspiration.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
There.
Hi, buddy.
Hello, everybody.
Alright.
Yeah, dude. It's time to go bonk your head on some stuff.
Give me the spoon.
Yeah,
Alright.
give me the bonk.
I'm gonna fill my water. I'll be right back.
See
See
you
you
in
in
a
a
minute.
5 minutes.
Oh my god, Obi, is it just you and me?
I believe so.
The way it should be.
Yeah.
Can't let these white people keep us down.
How's Warsaw for you?
Oh, I don't actually go anywhere because
You just stay at home?
Because my job's a remote job, and we're down to 1 car right now.
Yeah.
So,
You're just vibing at the home.
yeah, it's
God.
I gotta say it's atrocious. I hate it. But
Hey, yo, you gotta do what you gotta do.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Although I did have the car today because I had to get up at 5:30 with Alyssa because we had
Huh?
to take the cat to the vet.
Take it to the vet.
Yeah, she hadn't been spayed yet,
Well, yeah. Well, it's too
Yeah.
late now.
so we took her to get spayed today, and
It's, yeah. How old's the cat?
she's 2.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you're gonna have a lot of the behavioral stuff of an unspayed cat.
Yeah,
After you spayed
that's
it
okay.
now.
She's not bad anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
She can be a little much. Her and our first cat we got, are mortal enemies.
Yeah.
Especially her. She will just pull up on him for no good reason.
Yeah. That's
Which is funny
cats.
because Tuxedo is literally 17 pounds and she weighs 6.
Yeah.
Now
Cats will
her
pull up for no reason, dude.
her and the other cat, Boba, the black one, they're buds. Like they'll cuddle, they'll groom each other.
Mhm,
Uh,
mhm.
Good time. But no, she just. So we haven't exactly told the landlord we have cats yet because when we moved in, we didn't have the money to pay the cat deposit.
You just let it just kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah, but if a cat goes in the heat, it gets kind of hard to hide.
Yep.
Because she does that. very loudly.
Looking to have babies.
Yep, looking. She get horny.
Yeah. Get
Could
horny.
say.
Get horny.
So that's fixed now.
Get hot and bothered. Get down bad.
But it's not.
Get caliente.
It's not too bad overall. I was at the cafe 2 weeks ago.
The cafe.
It's whenever you were gone.
Yeah, I had the flu.
No, I think it was when you went to your trip.
To where?
When you went to your trip down wherever you went.
Yeah, when I went to Bloomington.
Yeah.
The area? Yeah. Wow, so that was early July.
Was that long ago? Shit. Everything's a blur for me. Like,
that was a while ago.
The whole working from home thing has killed my ability to know what day it is.
Yeah. When I was during COVID, I completely lost track of time.
Dude, same, because I was still at Grace during COVID.
Yep, same. Yep, I was still doing schoolwork, so I was like going to like Zoom classes.
Yeah, I was on campus. It was a ghost town.
Like I'd just go to Zoom and I'd be half naked. The bottom half of me would be naked.
Dude.
And I'd just have my shirt on and I'd just be like, yeah.
The amount of times with this remote job that like I've had to make up a lie so I have an extra 5 minutes before like my supervisor video chats me just so I can not look like I'm homeless.
Dude, I've embraced the homeless thing. That way, like just today, I went into the coffee shop wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I'm almost always wearing sweatpants or shorts. I went in wearing pants, like jeans, and they were like, "You look really nice today." And I'm like, "Thanks. I literally just did the minimum,
dude,
for the first time."
You know what my new signature look is whenever I leave the house?
What is it?
It's like the, I don't want to say Hawaiian shirt, but like the very light, airy button ups with the printed designs. Just like with the top 3 buttons completely undone with the hamburger meat hanging out.
Yeah.
And just like a pair of jeans. That's been my new look.
Yeah, with the hamburger meat hanging.
We call it my dad outfit. And
that's what I'm talking about. Let the.
I tell you what, when I was back in Pennsylvania last weekend, I needed it because it was hot as shit.
Pennsylvania's sneaky.
It's deceivingly hot and humid. Like, I didn't realize how much humid it was, how much more humid it was than here, until I was here for 2 months and went home.
Yeah. Can you
Shit's
guys
like
hear
breathing in a
him
fish
getting bonked?
I can hear it. Yeah, we went to Picklesburg. Let me tell you, it was a waste. It wasn't a waste of time. It was nice.
Picklesburg?
Yeah. So like, okay, so like Heinz ketchup and shit is down there.
Yeah.
So they have a festival about pickles, and you all get these little Heinz pickle pins. But it was like 3 hours for any food you wanted, because that's how big the lines were. And you walked like 15 feet in 15 minutes. So we only stayed
go
for
to
like...
Pennsylvania and you just enter into an old like ghost town that used to have a steel mill. Everybody's 85 years old, and they all look like their teeth are gone because their teeth are gone.
Obi, please, you're this close to describing my hometown.
Dude.
Except it was a tin mill, and a lot of people do have teeth. Because West Virginia and Western Pennsylvania are the exact same, except Pennsylvania has more teeth, and we don't marry our cousins on purpose. That's the key distinction.
What a beautiful life.
That, and for some god-awful reason, everybody in Pittsburgh says jagoff.
Jagoff.
Like, look here, you jagoff. And it's just like a norm. It's not even like considered that vulgar. It's just like, you'll get like a 76-year-old grandma saying it, and it's It's off-putting.
What did Trey just do? Turn around, grabbed your other roommate by the shoulders, Addie, and turned her around and pushed her away. It's like watching a reality show behind you, Addie.
What happened?
Trey grabbed your other roommate by the shoulders, turned her around, walked her back to her seat, and sat
They're
her
dating.
down, pushed her away. It was just like, and just like walked back away. And now he's over there again. It's like watching Jersey Shore without the jersey or the shore. And it's a black guy, not an Italian.
I thought it was funny
Different.
how Trey just came, put his hands on your shoulders, and pushed you to your seat, and then walked away.
Oh, we're just
Hey.
really, really good friends.
They're just really good friends, yeah. That's all.
I see.
If there's anything
That warms my heart, actually, to see.
Should be the one.
That's so sweet. You don't see
They're
such
just besties.
platonic love anymore. You don't see such platonic, physical love that lacks any sort of sexual tension. You know,
At all.
a nice romantic
Oh,
platonic
then
love.
we did not talk enough in college because me and my roommates were borderline gay, but it was all platonic.
Nice romantic platonic love. One that's like, I personally, unironically, do not think that romance is purely a sexual energy. I believe romance is the spark of friendship, the curiosity of love.
Truly a king opinion,
Yeah.
frankly.
So I think the best friend energy is a romantic one.
And that's why I will
Not a
always be
sexual
Obi's queen.
See,
Daryl?
it took
Oh,
me
yeah.
a while to get on
What's
that train.
That inadvertently, I suppose I am.
What's the Joker Harley Quinn memes? Where it's like,
Oh my god,
Oh,
she was his queen, and heaven forbid anybody did.
and crazier than him.
yeah, is that you guys? You guys?
Yeah, basically.
Literally me.
Let me see if I can find the copy pasta for it real quick.
Copy pasta.
Well, it is well past the agreed upon 5 minutes. And ready and raring to go for.
Yeah, here we go.
Send it.
There you go.
Where'd Linn
That's
go?
what it is.
Lynn's here.
Lynn's here.
Are you blind?
I guess I am blind because I ain't see shit. Well, there she is.
Sorry, I was pouring popcorn out into a container, and that would be obnoxious to hear over the mic.
Nice.
Anyways, the night passes without much. I did want to ask, Linn, what does Sadrin pray in particular?
Something along the lines of like this group is a very interesting, non-cohesive bunch at the moment. I asked that we would become a group, maybe not necessarily best friends, but a group that can work well together and at least trust and respect one another, and that we would live to see another day. Something along those lines.
As the cosmos turn above you in your respective sleeps, you're not sure what becomes of that prayer or the sentiment that it holds, but with the first twittering of birds outside in the morning, you begin to come to your senses. Some of you, having only slept a little bit since the dawn begins to break, will need to sleep in longer. But I did want to ask, when does everybody intend to rise in the morning? Sunrise, mid-morning, late morning?
A little bit before 8-ish.
Yeah, probably about the same.
Sadrin would probably wake up promptly at 9 o'clock. Like on the dot.
Aiden would be up by the sunrise.
I wake up when I feel hungry, so like 10.
Given that you were
10, 11.
drinking, does that affect it all?
That is bad.
You said 10. Yeah.
Sleeping in.
Yeah. If you hadn't gotten inspiration already, that would have been the moment. Yeah. So, no concrete plan was formed per se, but we can assume that since everybody is planning on meeting up again, you can know that you're going to meet back at the Lady Luck Tavern for your breakfast or brunch. Meanwhile, those of you who got up early, if you have any business you wish to attend to, now, of course, is a time where you can try.
I would like to go and find Zelron around the magic shop he mentioned yesterday.
All right, Zach, we'll come back to you about the same time that Brittany wakes up. Oh, big fat brain fart there. Jeez, man. Yeah, you will be able to find. We'll be able to find the magic shop. Or rather, you'll be able to find Zelrone about the same time that Brittany is up and about. If you want to look on your own, that's a different matter. But we'll come back to that. Braden started saying something, I think, and then
What
any
I
other
was
of you.
telling you I wanted to do. Would it, to my knowledge, would it be faster to do it myself or have said professional do it?
It is less. Well, you could do faster yourself, but it is not for sure that you will be able to do it completely by yourself, so to speak. Like, you won't necessarily be able to walk up to a place.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I'm transparent about this?
Yeah,
In a sense.
Yeah.
Right. He's looking for a blacksmith. Blacksmiths are renowned for the sort of non-arcane magic that they work. They're very adept in the hidden art of shaping metal and understanding the structure of it and all that. So they guard their forges somewhat jealously. That's the only reason why I say you might need to broker a deal to pay for some forge time.
I'm just gonna ask them, see how long it would take and how much it would cost for them to do the work.
Okay, cool. We will come back to that. I want to get through everybody and see what you want to get up to during the day. Now, if you're rising at 10, of course you'll still get to do something if you want to do anything before heading out, but we'll go around with everybody else first. Is anybody else getting up before 10?
Brad was up at dawn.
Yeah, a little bit before.
Brad, what do you do with your time?
I go off for head out of town for a little bit and try to just hunt some small game.
Mm-hmm. You wake, by the way, and check the sill fairly shortly after dawn breaks. What is left is a little cloth square, the one that you set out, and a feather, black, jet, and with not a notch nor any other blemish on it. The feather of a raven retrieved by a skillful outlander.
You said it was just a feather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You cut out for a second. I want to make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. I pack that all back up and
Okay.
repocket
Cool.
my little piece of fabric.
Nice. Sadrin and Mirio, are you getting up morning light too?
Sajin would have gotten up at 9 and probably just wandered the streets. Not necessarily doing anything in particular other than like people watching and like
Okay.
heading slowly in the direction of the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Muriel would have gotten up at probably 7:30 or 8. Did a bunch of push-ups. And then did a bunch of sit-ups. And then do a bunch of squats. And kind of just warm up for the day. And then because you gotta stay hard, he'd probably run around the city. Like the city wall out in the outskirts. Because who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
That's true, dude. That's true.
Go and try to find somebody that's in the group.
Okay, so let's do this chronologically then. We started with Aiden, and of course, what happened with you, I've just narrated. If you wish to go out in the woods and accomplish something, that might be another matter. But message me. Tell me what you would be doing with the rest of your morning. Meanwhile, we're going to move on to, I think Mirio would have woken up next. If you're straight up, like if you get up and then you immediately start doing your workout, you're probably done in like half an hour and then onto your run. While you're running, you would have, I think, come over to this stone square on the right side of the map. And you would have seen a battalion of the town guard doing drills, morning drills. Young and old members of the town guard practicing maneuvers, personal like movements, almost like military tai chi, if you will, in the square. And of course, you would have a chance to run past them, or if you really wanted, to do something else, interacting with the scene.
I can't hear you.
Are you saying things? Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, if I
No,
see
you're good.
if I see him out there training, I think I'd go up and be like, "Good morning. Can I join you this morning in training?"
Do you approach the guards, or like do you approach the leadership-looking individuals, or the people who are training?
Probably leadership.
Okay. There is a line of sort of drill instructors, if you will, leading in quadrants of 4. You approach one of them and catch attention. It's a half-orc with one tusk kind of lopped up where it should have grown out. The stump still protrudes out of the half-orc's tooth, though, or lip, though. For a moment, he whirls on you as you address him, and then after a moment, you see a mischievous glint pop into his eye, and he says, "You want to join us in our drill?"
If you would have me.
I reckon you could show these recruits a thing or two about actual work. If you'd like, go ahead and file in, and we'll run things a little harder.
All right. I'll do as he says.
You slot in. Okay. You briskly slot in, and a couple to accommodate you. Daggerford, like I mentioned, is where adventurers come to, or used as a sort of stepping off point for their next journey. Here are the people who are either the sons and daughters of adventurers, or are adventurers themselves who have retired and are now kind of just doing like guard watch duty. There's all different types of people here, is what I mean to say. If you can picture somebody in a suit of armor, just a light suit of armor, chain with a tabard, emblazoned in a dagger, you can picture a lot of the people. They shuffle around as you, shorter than a good chunk of them, manage to make your presence very widely felt in the group. And I'm going to have you roll a athletics check. The DC will be low because as you file in, the instructor says, "All right, listen up. We're going to be running your paces today." And basically he sets you through combat maneuvers on the side. Oh, what is your athletics roll? 19. Dude, you school these chumps. At some point, after their warm-up is finished, and you can see many of them are tired from it. They're not used to this quite, although many of them are fit. This has pushed them a little closer to exhaustion, but as the day proceeds, they'll recover and be ready. But in any case, you are all given sort of dowels and rods with which to practice sparring in the morning. And on a 19, you find great success doing that sort of like Filipino stick fighting, and then also some martial bow staff fighting as well, sparring I should say. If you'd like to describe anything, if anything pops into your head, of course there's an opportunity for you to elaborate, but otherwise we'll move on.
I think Mirio would often, he's fought, he's trained on his own with his brother. I think he would keep catching a lot of the other students with the same takedown, and I think regardless of them attempting to stop him, I think you'd always keep setting up the same sticks meet. Their arm goes up as he pushes and enters into their close quarters, ducks under their armpit, under their arm with his elbow, his leg behind their leading leg, and then just squatting and turning and throwing them onto their backs. He just keeps hitting every training, every training one.
Yeah, there are a variety of people here. Some who have been adventurers but are just now submitting to a sort of guard duty. Many who are new recruits. And it's the people who are exceptionally new to martial combat that you are able to slip into the center of control with easily. It's the ones who have real combat experience that are a little more difficult. They see what you're doing and they counter it. You have to do a little extra work, add a few more steps to befuddle them, and then essentially you do the same thing. You suffer no fools. No matter what happens during this training exercise, your finisher is step in, thwack them around the side, and put them to the ground. Sorry, what?
I said very nice.
Yeah. On that 19th, by the end, it is getting to about 10 o'clock, and the captain that let you in is impressed. You see him smirking the whole time. And a couple of the other captains, an elf woman who looks like maybe she was a ranger once, a halfling who is, you have to do a double take because she looks to be about as sturdy as a dwarf for a moment, but then you see some very subtle
let's avoid the
differences.
fat jokes, please, Mr. DM.
Sturdy is different. She's built, dude.
She's built different.
She's built. She's doing the same thing that Mirio's doing, except shorter. So like she's fighting up and like knocking people over with like one hand, like wrenching their knees back and making them fall backwards.
Do that for beings.
What? And then just like your regular old grizzled human veteran type of captain is also there. All the captains are eventually captivated by what you're doing, and you get a round of congratulations and thanks, and a couple of gold coins. You can add 3 gold coins to your inventory. They basically tip you for being an extra instructor. Also, Brittany, from tips the previous night, I would say that you would have gotten. What's your charisma modifier?
My charisma's mod is +3.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
is.
6 gold, 12 silver, and 3 copper.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's very good. There is one particular individual in Daggerford who is known to be exceptionally wealthy. He has his own estate, which rivals the size of the tavern you were just in, his own house, that is. And at one point during the evening, 10 of the gold that you made came from him. And it's not like he was trying anything. He's just wealthy, and everybody in town knows it, and he throws it around.
Flaunts it a little bit.
Yo, I'm not complaining. I'll take it.
Money's money, especially when it's not creepy. So yeah, you can add that. Tori. Yeah, I think that's it for that. Now, next in line, I believe Sudril would have been up and out and about.
Yeah. I initially wanted to go look for Zalrun near the magic shop, where he said he would be in the morning or during the day.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, when again do you wake?
I got up at like 8.
8?
Yeah.
You wander around town familiarizing yourself. And it's not so much wandering as you walk past the buildings and begin to create a mental layout of this place. I'm not sure if your character would have been here before, but regardless, you walk around trying to identify like signs and see where businesses are. And you discover that the magic shop that Zelraeon was mentioning is, I think it's, I don't know if this is showing it. Let me check the other map I have up real quick. Yeah, that's right. It's
You could just place torches around the buildings that we discover and enter, I guess, like with the tavern and stuff, because that seems like a pretty good marker.
That is true.
Yeah.
Cats for every building.
Meow. I think they're rats. Are they cats or rats?
No!
There's a cat by the first building. By the
Yeah.
tavern.
I didn't know if it was a cat or a rat though.
It's a cat, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, no, you zoom in on that thing. That thing is creepy as fuck.
I didn't zoom in, so that's why I was like, I'm looking at this from like a global view. This shit's like just a little furball.
From the side, it almost looks like a dog. Like
Yeah, it's
the
hard to
side
tell.
profile looks like a chunky pug.
Your favorite.
I hate. Yeah.
Basically, you have to wait until 9 o'clock for the place to open. It's a place very much like folded into the side of the Lady Luck Tavern called the Sorcerer's Capsulate. Here. And you watch as the owner, the proprietor, opens the door and like shows that it's open and all that, but not appear at 9 o'clock. If you wait, he does. If you want to go check in. or you see a very sparse offering. But
I was gonna go do the. If he's not there initially, I was gonna go do the other thing I messaged you about.
okay.
Because I don't think that would be completely infeasible for at least the second half of that. But the first part was kind of wondering where that might happen at.
Okay, so while you wait for a moment, you spy down the road, actually, fortuitously enough, a smithy on the other side of the marketplace. And in fact, Braden, if you are up at about 9,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would be, but if you get up at 9, you're going to be a little tired through the day. But in any case,
have you seen his face?
He's got so many bags under there, dude. He's got 2 bags of holding and they're under his eyeballs. Yeah, I think you guys would actually meet up at the smithy because both of you want to go there. Sign hangs proudly over, depicting a hammer over an anvil with the words Chromox Smithy encircling the pictograph. It's 9 in the morning when you approach, and the marketplace is bustling with people. But the smithy itself is an exclusive enough sort of establishment, which is to say it's an expensive venture, that there are not a lot of people crowding the space there.
Yeah.
I'll nonchalantly walk in, kind of looking over my shoulder every once in a while. But not in
and looking over your shoulder here and there, you see eventually Sudriel, who begins to approach the smithy as well. People pass in between you and you lose sight of each other here and there, but you can generally interpret that both of you will be there at the same time.
When I get there, I'll be like, "Oh, you are also going to the smithy?"
Oh, yeah, I came in to see if they had a few small bits and baubles, but, what are you doing here?
Oh, I just gotta get some quick work done on the old new finger. And I kind of pull that my jacket and hold it up.
The finger gun.
Yes, the finger gun. It's gonna be. Trust me. I can see on your face right now you're kind of doubting me, but when you see it, it's.
Yes. Well. Right.
Anyway, and I hold the door.
I'll get the door. I gotta reach for the door, and he already pulls it open.
We awkwardly do like the sorry, that after you.
The meat cute. It's.
Okay, I'll get the door going in. You get the door going out. We're good.
Right. Just I'll step inside and let him follow in after me.
You walk into the establishment, and the interior, well, it's if you're going into like the shop section, you're moving past the smithy itself, the forge and the anvil and everything. And the proprietor kind of warmly smiles at you from the forge as you're going in and says, "Hey, what can I help you with?"
Oh, good morning. I came in looking to see what you had potentially in the ways of scraps and even some potential minor materials that you wouldn't be in need of anymore. Shards of metal and just bits that you may be able to sell off, I guess.
He brings a glowing rod of steel out of the forge. You can see he's in the middle of honing the tang of a future blade, and he puts it on the anvil, but does not quite begin to work it. He says, "Oh, well, really the only stuff that I have lying around is slag. The rest I try to melt down and, make another ingot out of. If you'd like, I can charge you a little less since it's not full ingot, but
Well,
does that suit your fancy?
It was more of any sheet scrap or anything of that sort. But
Do you want a sheet of metal? Is that what you're asking for?
I mean, I wanted to see if you had any scraps first, but if you don't have that, I'll take a small sheet of.
Not really. We keep good use of everything here. Yeah, I could show you. Just give me a minute here. He spends some time hammering until the metal has dulled its warm color, and then he sets it back into the embers of the forge before taking off his gloves and bringing you over to a spot. If you want to buy raw materials, you're really going to make me look up trade goods?
Trade goods. It's in there. It's the page right before all the actual goods.
You're really going to do this to me, dude.
Yeah,
all right. You're going to do this to me? I'm going to do it to you, dude.
That's fine. I have that shit on the ready.
On the ready, dude. Let's check it out. What do we got? What the frick?
I have the home
Tell you what,
page.
Braden, while I'm looking things up, what are you there for?
Yes, he's gonna pour this sniffing. Hi, how you doing? Not to be a bother, but one tinkerer to another. And he pulls out the contraption that he made. He's like, I realize this might be short notice, or I apologize. And if there's any extra cost, I'd be more than happy to provide the proper currency for such a request. But I need this particular contraption coated in silver.
Oh, you need something silvered.
I was hoping it at such a small size, albeit it has a lot of technical pieces, so I trust you know how to work around those. But
He looks at it, he's like, what is that exactly?
Suppose I can show you. And
Like, is that an awl? Like, what are you trying to do with it? Is it a pen? I don't understand.
You see here my mechanical arm. I can do one of these, and he just plops off one finger and sets it down on the table, and sets the new one in, and it clinks into place, and he kind of flexes it a little bit.
When you do that, the blacksmith, his eyes, like, they get huge, dude. Big as bucklers. And he says, "Whoa, that's pretty special.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen anything that intricate." But basically, and I'm going to speed run this because I know that you've actually got some time constraints on you. If you want it silvered, you can pay 1 gold per dart.
I only have one.
All right, 1 gold, and if you have silver to pay as well, it'll actually just melt down the coin in front of you and silver your.
Okay. How many? Is it 1 silver? How many silvers would it?
Yep. 1 silver.
1 silver and 1 gold.
Yep.
Labor and material. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And what was your name?
Oh, it's on the sign. You look over at the sign, and Matthew buys himself time to look back at the map. Cromock.
Cromock. Well, Cromock, it seems you are a very proficient and excellent craftsman. With anything
Yeah.
expected, craftsman.
Well, that's a huge compliment there. Thank you.
Of course. He takes the finger off again.
No, originally I thought you'd be like looking around, seeing what you could steal.
What? I'm
It's just the way you like hunch over and
Well,
keep your hands together like a little rat, you know.
I want to be offended, but it's also very fair and very off-putting.
That's hilarious.
I'll admit it out loud.
It's okay. Hey, you take a stab at me. You look at him. He said, "Take a stab at me." You look at him. The first thing that comes to mind is a cow of some sort. You don't know why.
Oh, you kind of look like a bovine of some sort of species. Perhaps.
That's funny. What's a bovine?
A cow, kind of.
Oh, why you could have just said that.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Man's is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here is the gold and silver. He just kind of like reaches in his pockets and hands it over.
Oh, thank you. If you ever want to come back, I can just wave the silver next time.
I appreciate that. Perhaps we can find some sort of mutual partnership for future endeavors. I feel as though your metalworking ability could match my proclivity for tinkering. So perhaps we could think of some attractions that you could perhaps sell.
Hello? Did my connection break up?
Yeah.
All right. He says, yeah, if you come in, back with anything larger than these little dirt things, I'll have to charge again, but if it's just these little things, don't worry about it.
And when do you think this will be done?
Well, I've just got to heat up the silver and dip it in, essentially.
Oh, cool. I didn't know if you had a queue of work or if it would just be good to go.
Yeah, I'll set the silver right now, and then I'll continue working. I'll get it done. Come back in, half an hour.
In that case,
Anytime after.
If you don't mind, I'll just wait for my compatriot here while he does his business, and then I'll just wait around. It'll be fine. No problem. Thank you very much.
I'd be rummaging around kind of the stuff that I messaged you about, the kind of the scrap
Right.
of stuff.
You pull out about 2 pounds of the raw materials that you've been looking for. Some of it's been cut up for other projects, decorative projects and such. You can see that patterns have been half-heartedly hammered into some of the sheet metal or pressed. You don't quite know, but it says that you're also looking for ball bearings. I'll let you pick them up here.
Okay.
Do you have the cost pulled up in the player's hand?
Give me a second.
I'm gonna pop
Give me a
out.
second,
10
dude.
gold.
Yeah. So
But
Braden's got to
obviously,
go.
He can just pick up the finger and he'll attach it.
Yes, and
problem.
we're recording this so you can listen back in. We are going to proceed through the rest of the session. But yeah, Braden's got to go.
Good night, Braden.
All right, later, guys.
See you,
Right
mate.
above.
Housekeeping real quick. Bedtimes for everybody. What time does everybody need to go?
Don't.
I have to be up at 5:30, but I don't care, so I'll go as late as we go.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got work, but I'm not really worried about it.
I just go fuck.
Obi, if you're saying something, we can't hear you.
Too late for me. Wife and baby are in bed now, so ideally 11:30 midnight.
Okay. Do you mind if I propose then that we all meet at the tavern? And that I narrate up into the next portion.
Sure, works.
Yes.
Zach, you eventually find Zelrayun kind of like massaging his temple outside of the magic shop at around 10 o'clock. Having concluded your business at the previous place, you meet, and he says, "Whew. Good morning." Strained, definitely with a hangover. Maybe even a little drunk still. Hard to say. Whatever business you mean to get through with Zelrayun, for example, if you mean to go check out the magic shop, you learn very quickly that the items that are there are sparse and expensive, and cost prohibitively so. Zelrayun lends you money either, so
It's more of things that he already has on him. I was going to talk with him about 2 scrolls.
Yes. You bring this up, and he says, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot myself last night." He reaches into his robes, and you think you see the flap of a satchel, obscured by the robes themselves, and then he pulls out of the robes a pair of spell scrolls. Says, "If anybody runs into trouble with those werewolves, you should take these with you. I'll help you out of a bind." All right, cool.
What level are those?
They are imbued with the Remove Curse spell,
Okay, I need to look up.
Nice.
which I believe is a 3.
Very
Okay, I
nice.
Just need to double check that.
Where did I put my
Because
spell?
I need to know which ones I need to yes, it is 3.
That's right, I'm a nerd. I know spell levels off the top of my head.
Yeah, you do.
Shit, holy,
But you
that's,
don't know the
Freaking
price of
nerd.
ball bearings? Come on, Matt.
Yeah, dude.
Are you gonna persecute me for that?
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna bust me on the ball bearings? Brittany, 10 o'clock comes, and at about that time, you're getting hungry. You've put off getting out of bed for a very long time and kind of like flitting in and out of sleep as you do, and you really just want to sleep in. Finally, the hunger gets to you, and wherever in town that is that you have stayed, you emerge, and remembering that you have business with new associates to do something exciting for a change. Not that tavern playing isn't exciting, but it does get dull after the 50th tavern. You set off to yet another tavern, but under the auspices of leaving soon after you arrive.
So I guess I just
If you have anything you want to do, by all means, we'll resolve
I
that.
don't think there's anything in particular that I would do besides maybe go to Lady Luck and be like, "Hey, I will not be in today."
There's a different person who is on the morning shift, who I might note you don't normally see. Just getting off in the near future. And he says, "Oh, I'll let everybody know. How long will you be gone?"
I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you know by the end of the day. Don't worry.
All right. Just I won't be here personally, but I'll make sure people know. And that can be the end of that conversation. So you've let the proprietors of the tavern know, and as you look around, you see that everybody's kind of made their way back into the tavern, I would say, unless anybody has an issue with that.
I went off monster hunting by myself.
Ah, yes, you are still in the woods. I had forgotten about that.
Quiet.
Do you scout or do you begin the hunt? Or, like, you know that you are meant to meet back with everybody at a certain point during the day.
I would try to hurry. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do a ton of scouting. Being in the area for a little bit, I'd probably go to where I think I'd be most successful so I could be back at a reasonable time.
Okay. I'm just taking a look at my map here. You know that it's about a 75 to 50 mile trek to the Misty Forest. If you're walking, that's 1 mile per 15 minutes.
I wouldn't go. I'm just going outside of town and just whatever's around, trying to find something.
Anything? Roll nature or survival, your pick.
Nature or
and then
survival.
We'll fast forward to the tavern.
That's a 10.
A 10. You don't find anything outside of town. Hide nor hair. And so, after I'd say a good effort of searching, having not found anything near Daggerford, you at least rule out the possibility that whatever threat there is of werewolves, they haven't come close to the walls of the great city, or the great town. So, eventually, you too arrive back at the tavern. And as you congregate, whether inside or out, if you want to pay for a meal, it's 5 copper for something basic and a silver for something grandiose. Please pay accordingly, or if at all. I will give you the option to roleplay a little bit in the tavern, but given our time constraints, it may be best if we fast forward and have me narrate to the next point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I ate a big meal. I took a big
I'm fine
meal.
with that.
So.
Okay.
Full silver.
All right. You eat a delightful breakfast, and no matter whether you paid the 5 copper or the 1 silver, it's good. It's good food. It's the stuff that you get outside of the city, where you know that the people have taken care to make their bread, and you know that the people have done well to feed their chickens for the eggs that you now eat. There's greens and herbs that are just much more vibrant than the ones that you can find in Waterdeep. And it's not because Waterdeep doesn't have good stuff, it's just the way of life out here makes it more natural than, let's say, druidically influenced or magically grown. And having finished your breakfast, you look amongst each other. You begin to discuss how long it will take to get to the Misty Forest, and Aiden, as that's your home, you have a very precise number in your head. It will take you the better part of a day and a half, if I'm calculating correctly. I should probably look at the travel, but I could just say that it's going to take that long, and that's what you guys have to deal with. Travel pace. Right. Here's a good question. Do you want to travel slow, normal, or fast?
Normal, at
Probably
least.
I'm good with
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, normal's the good go-to.
Okay, then it will take 3 days to get there.
Okay.
It will take 3 days to get there.
As a parting gift, I'm not going to make you guys deal with paying for like rations or anything, because there are places along the way that you can stop. And I think as a last like parting gift, Zelrayun would also give you your provisions for the time that you need to travel, and then also another 3 days of rations back. So you basically get a week's worth of meals. And stocking up, it's about midday when you begin your journey. So I suppose if we want to, we can say the journey itself takes 3.5 days, or maybe, yeah, I think 3.5. Because you take the first day to kind of get ready and then get your stuff and go. You travel for half a day, then you spend the next couple days traveling, and then halfway through the third, you arrive. Along the way, you stop at hamlets and you speak to the owners of the estates, trying to understand what's going on. The closer that you get to the Misty Forest, the more reports you hear. The hamlets along the way, close nothing that they've caught from further. Others report startling events: livestock, horses, cows, beasts of burden that were vital to the hamlet's functioning have gone missing, or have been found as naught but piles of bones and gristle on the ground. And it's as you approach the Misty Forest along an old road that you find yourselves on edge, because the stories along the way have all added up to one conclusion: whatever is out here, it's the real deal. And I am going to pull you all into a new board.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a lot of trees. It's a lot of fog.
I'm invisible.
Foggy woggy.
Foggy woggy. Looks so
The Misty
good.
Forest is... I actually got this from somebody else, so please do not give me credit.
Matt, it looks so good.
Oh, stop it!
Why are all those trees growing in a straight line?
I don't have to take it. I don't.
You're right, you don't.
I am your god.
We're not gonna take it.
All right, you guys are all going to get player permissions. Zach, you get Braden.
Hell yeah. Do I get Roboboy or no?
Yes, I just have to bring it out. Yeah. Speaking of,
Yeah.
the Nimblewright follows you wordlessly during your travels, and it shows no sign of emotion ever. It's a little creepy to some of you. To others of you, Victor and Sudriel, it's really a machination of art design. But if you're not familiar with such, it's unnerving. All right, let me get that.
Yes.
The boy.
Boy.
My lord. Boy.
The whole time, the Nimblewright has barely even made a sound as it's been traveling with you. You know it to be a stalwart contraption, and yet it's fairly stealthy. Scared or not, It's impressive that it can travel as much as it does. It keeps with you and does not show any signs of wear or tear, particularly because it's well maintained by its operators. Eventually, you do make your way along the old road to the outskirts of the Misty Forest, where the road, now disused, begins to weave into the trees. And you see that the place has garnered its name very appropriately. By most accounts, when you arrive, it's halfway through the day, and that means that there shouldn't be any fog. It should have burned off long ago. But something about this place just diffuses the spirit of it. You're here, and you're not quite sure what to look for. It's midday. Legend would tell that any werewolves would wait in the darkness until night came, at which point only by the moon would they emerge. And I want to open it up and ask you, what do you do now that you've made it to the Misty Woods?
You have a second one of me somewhere, Matt.
Yeah, same.
Do I?
Same.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
invisible, but yeah.
Yeah.
No. No.
I feel that somewhere in this world,
I feel a
part of me
connection.
has been smitten down by a vengeful god, one who proves to be right.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we're getting into our closer to our quarry. We may want to wait until it gets darker.
Is it worth even looking around during the daytime for anything? Or?
This might be a good idea to see if anyone else has been in the area recently.
You have been given a question, I believe, Aiden, and if you wish to rack your brain, you can roll Arcana or History. Tell me which one you choose, because the outcome changes.
Ooh, they are the same. I will go History. That's a natural 20.
On History,
Yep. Only a +1, so it's a 21.
you call upon the archives of your mind. You have seen much more than many. The cadence of your life has brought you through much. And it's through this experience that you know. Zach, what was the question again?
I asked if there would be anything worth looking around for during the day, like anything like that.
If you're looking for creatures, you're out of luck. If you're looking for evidence of a grisly evening, you might find something. Midday as it is, you have good chances if anything happened the evening prior.
Well, we're not quite to a full moon, but
Also, with that nat 20, you would know that the full moon is tonight.
so tonight, if there are werewolves near us, we're all but guaranteed to find something. And if there are werewolves in the area, we'll be able to find something from the previous evening adventures. Maybe finding out while we still can have some daylight. Maybe look for evidence in the area, but we'll want to make sure we hunker down so we can come up with a plan for evening.
Sounds like a good idea.
All right. If you wish to make camp, tell me how you do it.
Well, I think we probably spend a little bit of time before making camp just investigating the area, seeing if we can't find any traces of any potential
Investigate, you say?
activities. Yes.
Yes.
You know what to roll. Anybody who wishes to investigate.
Sleight of hand.
All right. Here we go.
If you wish to justify with your background any sort of advantage, you may certainly try.
I've been training to hunt monsters. Do I get advantage?
I will allow it.
Good, because natural 2 was my first roll.
Jeez.
I got a dirty 20. Just flat
I
out.
got another natural 20.
All right. I see what it is. My 20's not good enough for you.
I don't know how to...
You say 15?
Yeah.
Just a blurry camera.
Brittany? Mario?
You searching? I can see it.
Yeah.
Yep,
there it is.
Yep.
What happened?
He just showed his dice that they're loaded.
To prove that it was another 20.
20,
Wait,
then
who?
a 2, and then a 20. It was me. I was just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just us three searching.
Addie? Obi?
Addie's on the phone.
did you want my modifier added to that, Matt?
Not if it's a nat 20.
Okay.
Sorry,
want me
Obi,
to
what?
do investigation?
If you want to investigate, and if you want to justify advantage, you certainly may.
This isn't really Mirio's thing.
All right. Then, if you wish to
Gonna
investigate...
I think he's gonna get out of the way.
All right. Sounds good. I really don't want to cut in on
Yeah, I don't.
Addie's
I think she'd
autonomy
be.
with
She'd
this,
be
but I think with we got a dirty 20 and a nat 20, right?
Yeah.
We'll say that the party fans out and looks, and that you all come back together, and that is what happens. On a nat 20, at one point you find a dark patch on the forest floor in a bed of pine needles. Dark patches are not so uncommon, particularly when rot begins to spread across the piney down that covers forests like these. However, this is sticky and not from sap. On a nat 20, you're well aware enough to dip a finger in and check to see its taste. And an acrid metal fills your sense. This is blood. And you don't have to venture very far into the woods, along the old road or otherwise, to find that something's here. You try to look around, find any sort of blood trails leading from this. There are none. And on a nat 20, that means one thing. You look up and see, splayed, ribs wide, the ruined body of a deer. Chunks of muscle, torn, ligaments flapping in the light breeze that jostles the trees. The bones, if they were dry, would clack together like some sort of forbidden wind chime. But instead, you just hear an awkward squelch as the fluids begin to leak out from a ruptured organ. The smell had been getting worse the closer you got to this patch, but looking up now, connecting it in your mind, it's nothing you haven't smelled before, but the import of it. That is what turns your stomach. Of course, you choose whether you let it come up or fight it down, and I won't make you roll for that. But
but anybody else who views has a similar experience. Did you
Apologies.
split?
Sorry,
No, you're good. What were you gonna say?
I'm back. I was just gonna say apologies. My friend, she went out of town for a thing, and her husband wasn't responding, so she was wanting me to check on him. So she figured a little bit.
No worries.
I'm good.
I figure a call at this hour is very important. You're good.
Half tempted to call you at this very moment in time.
I will literally kill you. You'll have to pay another $8. I will literally kill you. It is unfortunately 11:30. There is a little bit left in this scene. However, Obi, I wish to respect your time. Is this something that you could catch up with later?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay to watch the recording then?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I can push to midnight. I just.
Are you okay? Okay. If that's the case, let's motor then. I'll get us there.
I'll have to message you if I'm gonna do anything.
Okay, that's all right. I will make sure that I have my Discord up so I can read. Okay. Zach, do you split from Aiden?
Yeah, I would sort of fan out in a little wider of a pattern.
You got a dirty 20?
Yep.
Okay. Some of what Aiden saw made perfect sense. Some of it was so grizzled and unrecognizable that it was hard to interpret the shapes of the deer. Limbs are no longer limbs when they've been mashed to a pulp or shredded for any of the meat they contain. On a dirty 20, Zach, you find the head lying some 50 feet away. It's also a fairly grisly sight. The gore around you seems to be relatively isolated, but fanning out more on a natural 20 and a dirty 20. You find the evidence that there was once a whole pack of deer, a whole herd of deer here. Some of the deer you find again. Fawns, does, bucks, doesn't matter. Some of them you find nothing except for a single limb or an antler. Or a cough. You find a cough. A deer's coughing.
Stop dying, Matt.
It's one of those rare coughing deer.
Yeah. That'll teach me to eat popcorn and then narrate. Yeah. Something has been hunting here, and it is not the normal sort of canine wolfish activity. Things have been slammed against trees. You find one body impaled across a broken branch. Whatever did these things was vicious.
Is Zach, yeah, I don't know what your character's name is because I don't see it's not on the
Sudril.
Sudril. Is Sudril near me then?
You could definitely confer with the time that you have. You have half a day. You could confer, most certainly.
Well, I think we found the right spot.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to stay. I know your orders were to just gather information and confirm. So if you need to leave, I understand. But I'm going to be here tonight.
Well, we did strike up a bit of a bargain. You'd help us find these things, and we promised to sort of help drive them off a little. It would only be right to honor our end of the bargain.
Then I suggest we build camp. I appreciate your help.
Likewise.
Somberly, the two leaders of the fact-finding investigation broker a deal. Of course, the rest of you are fairly independent members of the group. For example, Brittany, if you thought this was enough, you'd have a chance. But if this is exciting, of course, I think your character would have sufficient motivation to stay. Victor is also interested in staying. And Mirio as well. Yeah. You were going to say something today?
I think it would take a little bit of convincing to have Victor be around with his sort of eccentric personality, but I'm sure
I think he wants to see the Nimble Right do something. And the more time he gets to study it and the potential of it working and seeing it move in combat, that would be enticing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole purpose of this.
At the expense of potentially losing his arm.
Yes. You have a conversation and the probabilities come back up. He's very well aware that being out here and traveled so far, it's quite a bit higher than normal. You make camp. Where?
You're asking where we do?
Yes, on this particular map.
Can we do it a little off-road, like by these trees? To our right, maybe?
Yeah, so you see how the path kind of curves up there? Sort of in that clearing, not there by the bushes, but sort of in the space.
Are you guys not able to move your minis in cutscene mode?
I am.
No,
I
we
am.
cannot.
Yeah, not
in
in
cutscene mode. No.
Oh my
sort of
gosh.
like up in the
I'm
this
so
area
sorry.
up here.
Good.
Yeah, we could, like, what if we did, like, over here? Well, hold on. What's this little grave over here?
Where did we find the body?
The bodies were in the woods, thicker woods.
What is
on the left
this
side
that I'm
of the
sitting
road.
by? This, gravestone here. That is supposed to be anything in particular, or is it just...
Where? I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, right there? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
You walk
I was
up to
flailing.
a small grave laid curiously in the earth along the road. If you were just traveling, you might not have noticed it, but it has a candle lit next to it. The inscription on the stone, which you're surprised to see standing alone here, is smudged and nearly covered with lichen. But after a few brushes, you read, in loving memory, Erasmus Zelhan,
Does
taken by his own
anybody-
curiosity.
Oh. Well, there's a little gravestone right here. I don't know if, anyone wanted to take a look. Oh my god, that guy's in a tree.
Aiden has scaled one of the pine trees and now, like, Legolas is off the side.
I'm gonna just sing a little tune. Like a little, ballad, a somber ballad.
A dirge.
Kind of just in honor of whoever may have passed here.
Man, I
wish I could give you another inspiration. Roll performance, first of all.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. If you use your inspiration here, then Matt can give you another
You
one.
get a free inspiration.
I haven't used my
Actually,
inspiration though. I haven't used any inspiration.
You should use your inspiration.
No,
Because you
I'm
have-
giving. So there's different types of inspiration. There's DM inspiration, and for you, Bardic.
Oh, I know.
You
There's the
haven't used
bardic.
it.
Yeah.
But you said I wish I could give you inspiration. Didn't you give us inspiration?
Mhm.
I,
don't
yes, I did.
Divinic inspiration.
Yes.
So, but you can only have one.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
divinic.
You only have one.
That's a 16.
Did you roll? Did you want to use your inspiration and then immediately get it back?
Free
Can I do
inspiration.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's offering.
He's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
he's
sure.
he's like,
Sure,
so yeah,
sure.
just use
What is it?
There's no
A
reason-
D6?
It's just it's another.
No.
another
So
D20.
DM inspiration is different from Bardic.
Ooh,
because
it's like
just advantage.
It's advantage. Got it.
It's just
Oh,
another
roll
roll.
expendable.
Do you,
just for the 20.
Matt, question: if I say I rolled at advantage and both rolls were crap, and I wanted to use my
Yes.
inspiration, I could
Like
roll
a
third
luck
die?
feat?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yes.
a luck feat
Okay.
kind of deal.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's
so-
how, if you rolled like that or not.
My inspiration die was a nat 1, so we're going to stick with the 16.
Correct.
Not very inspiring.
But
You
you got your
actually-
inspiration back.
You strum. Do you use your lute or your harp, or do you not at
my
all
harp.
use those things?
Use
Your
my
Okay.
harp.
You strum your harp just to check it, and one of the notes is immediately sour. We'll call that the one, but all it takes is a little tuning, and then you begin in earnest.
Wait, what was the 1 for? That was the extra die.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of flavor.
Flavor.
You got a
Flavoring.
one, but whatever.
You noticed a little out of tune note.
Yeah, you noticed it, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna play on that. That would be awful." Call it inspiration. And so, as you guys are looking for a suitable place to set down your tents, you hear this melody, an elegy for Erasmus, laying here in a foreign and remote spot along the old road. The wind itself seems to stop. And in that moment, it's like you're caught in the mist, locked as if the mist itself was solid. Brittany concludes her singing, beautiful and haunting in the mist, as some of you cannot quite see her. You merely know her voice. And then it ends. And the world begins to move again. And you make camp.
Oh,
Oh no, he froze.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Where camp should be.
Hailspire also froze,
We
so.
lost
Yeah.
our
Oh.
map.
Oh,
There, you're back.
There we
you
go.
back?
Yep.
Are you back in
Yeah.
Tailspire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
where did it leave off?
We heard you say as you set up camp, and that was about it.
Okay, haunting. I'm going to give the executive decision to where camp is to Obi. So Obi just place Muriel somewhere, and that's where you camp. Well, you guys are
Camp.
searching.
In a
He picks up
mansion.
there.
All right.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
You select the top of this outcropping, knowing that it's a defensive. Knowing that it's defensive and stealthy place to watch over the wood. You set up camp. Evening comes.
I wouldn't suggest we get too comfortable or unpacked. We may, depending on how the night goes, need to make haste out of here if it goes sour. Or you may.
You pack up your camp belongings if this warning unnerves you, but otherwise, you are free to be atop this little kind of concept arty like bit of stone that's jutting out of the earth.
Would we be able to see this glow on the
Like the glow side of the stone.
on that little ledge there?
No.
Is it supposed to be glowing like that?
Oh, that was going to be. Yeah, I was very lovely and whimsical in their creation, and added glowing crystals.
Okay, you can. Also gonna use your action so
Catch it, because I'm a strong guy. Also that brazier? No. The candle has burned out on Erasmus's grave. You're not sure who put it there, but it was lit. Perhaps it is a place of pilgrimage for somebody who's lost a person they love. The night comes to the misty forest, and the orange glow of sunset effuses the mists. It's strange. If your character has ever been in a wildfire before, they know it to be a familiar sight, but for the rest of you, there's something unholy and unsettling about it. You're surrounded by the glow. It has no source. The sun is not strictly visible as you're in the mists. And it's darker than it should be. I would like perception checks from everybody, presuming that you are watching the
Yeah,
forest.
boy. Of course.
Let's see, that is a number. What's my mod?
I'm very bad.
That is a
dice
dirty
rolls.
20.
A dirty 20.
That is a total of 5.
5. Dirty 20.
15?
Use your inspo?
15.
No.
No, not for that.
Mirio and Aiden, your senses are dulled for some reason. You try to peer through the mist, but it's extra thick this evening. Sodrin and Sudrio. You are able to peer through it and identify the shapes of the trees around you. You're able to keep something of a watch in a larger radius than the others. Something about it is just your positioning, but something else is you have a keen eye for these things. The night begins to fall. And your watch continues. I would like another round of perception checks.
Oh, goodness.
And I would like these to be at disadvantage.
Ooh, disadvantage. Oh.
11 for me.
10.
You said perception again?
Yes.
That's a 15.
Did you say a disadvantage?
Yes.
$12.
12. Okay. Because we're getting close, I'm going to... okay, she's sitting back down. Addie, can you roll perception at disadvantage, please?
Yeah.
The night has begun to fall. Highest roll is a 15, right?
I think so.
Well, that's a natural one.
Ooh.
Perception, so it'd be like a 3.
Yeah.
Not good rolls tonight, I gotta be honest.
Well, I did disadvantage it, but with a low of 1 and a high of 15, you all attempt to peer through the evening mist. And to ease everybody, Brittany gets the idea to, low and quietly, muted with a piece of cloth, play the lute. And while it's pleasant, and while part of everybody expects that, it's too early for anything to happen, nobody suspects that hearing is the primary focus of what you need right now. It's not until the first song is done that you hear howls coming closer. Second. Hello. Apply.
Ooh.
The night begins to fall. Does anybody have dark vision?
Yes.
Yes, I should.
Okay. You begin to see shadows darting in and out of the trees across the road from you.
I would like to stealth.
You may roll.
That's a 23.
23. Okay. You crouch low and stay around places that you know will offer some sort of aromatic protection. What is everybody else doing?
I'd like to cast this thing, the same thing as before, actually, on a spot sort of leading up the hill. Yeah, just something that would be like a pretty commonly traveled center of the path kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. You notice something as you guys are getting busy with these things. Those who have dark vision, your vision is becoming slowly impaired. You can't see as far as you normally can. And the air is getting thick. Very, very thick. A moist down fills the air and lays heavy in your lungs. What are the rest of you doing?
Can we see the moon?
Can you see what?
The moon.
There is a dim, diffused orb above you. Still somewhat low in the horizon as the sun is just set, but all the same, maybe a quarter of the way across the sky. And it looks, when the mist is thin, like it's full. The howls begin to come closer. What is your passive insights again? What's the highest passive insight you have?
13 for me.
13.
I'm lower.
Lower.
Jesus, how do
Yeah,
I
mine's just 12.
How the fuck do I have the highest passive insight?
Because
It
insight
might be Braden that has the
is-
highest. It's hard to say though.
probably.
Insight is wisdom.
Yeah. Again, how does that shit happen?
I think on a 13, your memory would trigger. The werewolves, they're said to come with the mist. And it kind of feels like you're drinking the air every time you breathe now. You cannot any longer tell where you're sweating and where the dew of the air is simply condensing on your body. Suddenly the summer is suffocating. The heat is stale and still. Do you all stay put?
I draw my rapier.
Yeah.
But
Can I, like, I can't see in the dark, but can I tell at this point that, like, something's happening?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You're hearing howls, the air is strange.
Are we... Can I, like, whisper to whoever's closest to me? Well, am I by Aiden?
I will give you a little bit of a lamp. I don't know if that helps.
Well, I'm gonna ask, like...
Oh yeah, if you want to whisper to each other, yeah.
Are we trying to be stealthy? Because, I can't say anything and I really want to throw up some lights.
at least I'm gonna try to be quiet. I'm gonna move a little bit away from the group if the group needs lights. I think our fight is inevitable at this point.
Our fight's what? I couldn't hear you.
Inevitable.
Okay, I'm gonna cast dancing lights then.
I snuck off to this like corner over here, Matt.
Sneaker.
I am a sneaker.
Sketcher's boy.
I guess that's alright. I'm gonna just cast dancing lights.
Yes.
Cantrip.
You hear a rock down the cliff face. Skitter. And it's not coming from Aiden. You cast dancing lights, and the lights are nearly swallowed up by the mist. What illumination they might normally afford is cut in half, and as they dance around you, sorry, you'll have to maybe envision this. Or we'll say this. How about that?
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Sorry, yeah. Very cool. That's good.
You hear the howls reach a fever pitch. They start coming closer. They start coming in from all directions. And you hear the scrabbling below on the cliff increase in frequency. Something's trying to get up.
Like directly below me, or are they like working around kind of towards the way
Below.
Directly. And not Aiden in particular.
Like the roadside cliff face, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
With crossbow sort of drawn and at the ready, I'm going to make my way over and sort of peer over the edge, not wanting to go over the side.
All right. Do you want to be sneaky?
No particular reason to be at this point. I'm assuming they've picked up the scent. I mean, it seems like they're coming towards us, which is why I'm not being particularly stealthy.
Yeah. You do not care anymore. You cannot even see your feet in this infernal mist. You crunch over dead grass, and the sole of your boot hollowly taps against the stone as you reach it and then peer over. Somewhere in the mist, a gleaming set of teeth and two orange eyes glare up at you. And then you hear a snarl. We're not going to go into initiative quite, but we are going to well, we have a choice here to make. We can leave this until next session, or we can continue.
I think we leave it to next session.
Yeah,
'cause it's
we could wait till
midnight
Braden's
now.
here too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Braden and Obi back for next session.
I think he'll enjoy that. And meanwhile, you'll have this dread vision in your mind. Thanks. That's all I got for you, I guess.
Thank you, Matt.
Good stuff. It's real good stuff. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
I like Tailspire.
Really
It's fun.
good.
It's a lot of fun, dude. You like those little dancing lights?
Yeah.
They're
That's
great.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice to still be able to see something, even though we don't have, like, we're not in person playing, like, in the same
Yeah.
room. It's still nice to be able to visualize what's going on.
Have the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll 20.
More of a 3D visual.
Yep.
Roll 20 is awesome. Tailspider's awesome. Anything to kind of give the sense of
A visualizer.
Yeah.
moving little things around, using
Yeah.
imagination.
Apparently, but
Yeah.
there's like stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the
Tailspires.
say, hey,
Yeah. Thank
Right,
you for
Obi.
joining us, Obi.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Thanks, man.
everyone,
Take care.
be sure to take time in your day to feel the moon pulling.
To feel what?
That's amore.
Pulling on your blood.
That's amore.
Just take your time, just breathe, and just feel it.
Will do, Obi. Will do.
Thanks, Obi.
Feeling it. Right now.
So it's
Feeling it.
pulling on the blood really hard right now. It's coming off of a full moon, so it's going to be pulling on your blood a little less hard.
What are you saying?
I'm saying when
We're
it's
talking
just
about how
pulling
the lunar
on your
patterns.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I missed that.
How they
I
affect
will.
you.
I will make sure to breathe.
Oh,
blood.
did I ever tell you guys about the story how this one weird dude came into work and in the cafe, my roommate and Canyon were working, and that was the other coworker. Their name is Canyon.
Dude, he's like
And
a
the-
literal world champion.
Pog.
The guy started talking about how the moon influences women's menstrual cycles to my female roommate and other coworker,
I gotta say, there's
like mansplaining it, and like wouldn't start talking about it until she was paying attention to the conversation too.
Can I ask, was he wearing one of those, like, like the wolf howling at the moon? And the
No,
wolf-
it was like he was like 50 or 60 years old too.
Oh,
Like
that
it was an
says a lot
older
more.
dude.
That
It was
says a lot
really
more about it,
weird.
Like
And
the
he-
park director, and when all the park directors meet in Parks and Rec.
Yes.
but yes, 100%.
He also was asking questions about, like, my other
Obi,
coworkers and I on the
you-
book floor. He was asking about hypnosis books and something in Portuguese.
Lovely.
So
What an eclectic fellow.
I was like, I'm glad I didn't have to talk to that guy because
Yeah.
I would have had problems probably.